Hello, and welcome to SciFi Vision Presents for February 11th. And tonight is Wonder Man. You know, it was only 3 weeks. I never made a Wonder Man logo. I should have made some kind of background. But anyway, it is for Wonder Man, even if it does not say that. Karen will be with us momentarily. I know she was having some internet problems earlier. Hopefully, it will correct itself. But welcome, everybody. If you're joining us, this is the last two episodes of Wonder Man. 7 and 8, and yeah, we'll be done after this. Please make sure you like the video, hype it if you can, and subscribe to SciFi Vision. It's always appreciated. I put a link to our Discord in the chat if you're not a member yet. Excuse me. You can come to our watch parties. Hey Jen, thanks for stopping by. Tomorrow at 11, I have School Spirits with Jen, who's in the chat now, and Scarlett. So make sure you guys come around then. But we also have a watch party at 9:30, and of course our Tuesday show for Fandom Access. No, we're done with it. Yes, Scarlett, we did it in 3 weeks. We went really quick. we didn't draw it out. But yeah. So what did you think about the last two episodes? I know I talked to Karen earlier, but what did you think?
The show got better as it went. The first 3 episodes really didn't grab me. The Doorman episode was fun. But these last, that was 5, 6, 7. So these last 2 were pretty good. Like actually the last one we watched, what was this? So this is 8. So 6, 7, and 8 I liked. I thought it was pretty funny that Trevor became the Mandarin again to throw suspicion off.
Yeah,
So that made it kind of interesting. You know what I've realized though, like since the beginning, I was like, I felt like I was kind of bored. Those first couple episodes and everything, like nothing was happening, and even through the end of it, I realized I don't like Simon.
Oh, okay.
like they try to make him all sympathetic and shit, but I just don't like. He's his own problem. Like everybody feels bad for him and shit, and I don't.
No, I like Simon. I mean, I don't know that he's my favorite character in Marvel, but I enjoyed him, and I think the actor fits really good.
Well, the actor did a great job. The character.
Yeah, but I don't know. I like this series. I like the ending a lot. I do agree it wasn't like a quick moving show, but yeah, it didn't. I really like the ending. Probably the last few three
like Murderbot.
Yes, kind of like Murderbot, except we took a long time to do that. AJ and Karen like to scoot through it quick. Otherwise, I would have taken probably 8 weeks to do it and drove them nuts. Hello, Karen. Karen's here. But yeah, I liked the end episodes the best, and I did enjoy the ending. We were, I know, talking about it earlier. And I was also asking Karen because I had read that they potentially could bring it back, but I think it's just the kind of talk you get after every show ends that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I had wondered if maybe they had intended to put the character in something else. But she said that you said it was a really small part of the comic books. So,
well, no, but the thing is, they completely reinvented the character. The character, he's absolutely nothing like the character from the comics at all, except for, all right, so his name is the same and his powers are the same. Other than that, there is nothing the same. It is completely different. Like in the comics, he's a superhero that gets tired of all the bullshit that comes with being a superhero and decides to go to Hollywood to become a stuntman. And from being a stuntman, he becomes an actor. He calls himself Wonder Man as a superhero. He didn't go to Hollywood and do a movie called Wonder Man.
I see. Yeah, I just question and kind of wonder, especially if that's the case, since they are moving towards the mutant part of the MCU, and we're assuming, again, it was never confirmed, but we're assuming their mutant powers. I wonder if they're going to pull them in something else.
Yeah, and I think that's the direction they're going into. I feel like based on what we got in these 8 episodes, I feel like they're going to say that he's a mutant, because in the comics he was actually given the powers by Baron Zemo. So
okay, so it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we need another season of this though. I mean, I liked it. I wouldn't mind another season, but I don't know that we need one. I know Karen doesn't want to see another season. She thinks it should be over. But I tend to come on the opposite side of that as her usually anyway. So
You
that's
always want
nothing new.
more. You always want more of everything.
I do. And I said, I don't know that I don't feel like it needs it. I don't feel like I was left hanging. I liked it. I mean, if it's on again, I'd watch it, but does it need it? No. But I could see them pulling him into other parts of the MCU down the road.
Yeah, I could too.
Your turn, Karen. You're muted, Karen, or your audio isn't working, one or the other.
I think it's fine the way it is. I would like, lots of things get ruined by like being stretched out and milked for more money. I like the ending. I like the way it ended. I like the show. I don't need to, I mean, I'm same as Jamie. I don't need to see any more of this. I thought it was a good story that ended at a good point. I also don't think that more doesn't necessarily mean good, right? Like, I don't know that it would be good. I just don't need, I don't need to see anymore. I think it's fine the way it is. And I don't think we discussed a little earlier. I like that when a show ends in a way like this that feels satisfying, but also leaves us to sort of imagine what could happen to this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
But you don't dislike him. Like if they did pull him into other things, it sounds like you both would be okay with that, even if it doesn't continue his story.
I kind of wouldn't be okay with it. Like I think Simon Williams, the character of Simon Williams, is not a superhero. He doesn't want to be a superhero. I think to make him a superhero of the Marvel, a la Marvel, would like not really be true to who his character is. From what we saw in these 8 episodes.
True.
He wants to be an actor.
We do a lot of times get reluctant superheroes though in the
it'd be funny though because it'd be the complete reverse of the comics. Like in the comics, he's a superhero that becomes an actor. So in this, he'd be an actor that became a superhero.
Yeah, yeah.
It was also very meta, so I don't think that would work. Bringing him in, it would go bringing him into. I mean, who knows what they're gonna do?
Yeah, no, there's no way to know unless they do like meta jokes and bring it in that somewhere like somebody's watching them on TV or something. I could see them doing that, but
that's what I'm saying. I don't think that is gonna work.
Oh, you don't think? Well, I meant not as a character. I meant they might like just do it as a little joke or something.
Like now, I could totally see something where, like, maybe not Daredevil, but I could see something like I could see, during Daredevil season 2, I could see like there being like a TV in the background and seeing the Wonder Man movie on TV. I could see them doing something funny like that.
Yeah, that's like what I meant. Excuse me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was what I meant. So we get more flashbacks in this. Let me make sure I have the right episode. Yeah, I do. In this episode, I love this, that his father's like, you have a really bad cough. And decides he's going to let the kids skip school. And obviously this is kind of to give us the backstory of, excuse me, the first time they went to see Wonder Man and why it was so important to him and meant a lot to him. But I like that. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree? He's quiet. Let's see. We already kind of knew though. I mean, we saw before when they went to the theater, so that really wasn't anything we didn't know. I think here, I don't know if it's in this one or the next one because the scenes look the same, but they have the comment about where he's telling him how much he liked the sunglasses, and you realize, well, that's why he cared on the set.
Yeah.
There's that spaceship.
It's pretty cool, the spaceship.
It is. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's like old school, but it's kind of cool. And then we get
That's what makes it cool.
The merch stuff, yeah. Come up. I'm trying to take some pictures there. And then I know, Karen, you said you really like this scene. I do too. He's practicing his scenes in his now huge trailer. I remember, and which I'm assuming it was supposed to be juxtaposed with that, but I remember in the first episode when he was in like the teeny tiny trailer that like had the toilet right with like the desk or whatever. And now he's got like a, whatever it's called, an Airstream big trailer with a couch and a TV and everything. Actually 2 couches now that I look at it. So yeah, he's made it. I mean, he went from, to be fair, now he's in a Marvel. Well, I don't know. Is it Marvel in this universe? I don't know if they say it's Marvel or not. But
Wait,
you know, he's in a big time movie. Let's put it that way.
no, what was the question? Is it Marvel in this universe?
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't know if the movie was like a Marvel movie. I not that it matters. I just was calling it a
No,
Marvel
because
movie.
it's the Marvel universe. So you're not gonna have a, you know what I mean?
I'm
Like
not
it's not
calling it a Marvel movie. Yeah, that's why I said it probably wasn't. But yeah, he's still, either way, he is the lead actor in a hugely successful. I'm assuming the way they've done it that it's supposed to be like a Marvel movie. So
No. It's a reboot of a 1980s movie. It's not a
Yeah.
10.
No. I know that, but I'm saying like this is supposed to be like on the level of a Marvel movie, the movie that he's in. Like it's making him a superstar. So he went from nobody to being like this superstar overnight.
I mean, the director's an auteur, though, right? It's not like the director is a prestige director, right?
True. I don't know. I just kind of assumed that was what they were. At least to me, that's what I thought they were going for. Is like
it's a big
kind of
budget
meta
movie.
making fun of Marvel movies.
Yeah,
in a way.
It's a big budget movie that he's making.
Yeah. Either way, he's got a really nice trailer. But I almost expected him. He didn't do it, but I was waiting for him to go pew pew pew, and he made noises. But he didn't go pew. He made other noises. But yeah, that was cool. And you're right. It kind of does. Kimberly was saying it reminds her of the Murderbot spaceship. It kind of does look a little bit like the one from Murderbot, or kind of reminds me of it. Not the color, but the shape. But they come and get him, and we get to see them drive down the set. And this is really showing this scene how I don't know, Hollywood he's become, I guess is the right term. Mm-hmm. He's asking for special food and, you know, being picky and telling him, oh, I want this, because he knows he can get it, because he seems to be enjoying himself. And is he maybe pushing it a little too far at this point? Maybe. But look, he's living it up. This may never happen again. He's enjoying his time in Hollywood at any rate. Seems to really be having a lot of fun. And then we go to the costume department. I didn't realize he was on a pedestal. I thought at first she was that small, and I don't know why, but I did. And then I like laughed after because I was dumb and didn't realize it. But yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the costumes there. But costume department.
I think she's kneeling down there. She's hemming his pants and she's kneeling down, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, now I can see now she is. She's on like one leg, like kneeling down. I did not notice that. Geez, I'm sorry. I still keep feeling like I'm going to cough. That's why I keep doing that. I keep trying not to. That's something in my throat. I don't know. I really like kind of this behind the scenes meta thing. I guess just because I've been to sets and I cover that kind of stuff. To me, this is a lot of fun. And I always like looking at the little details in the background that you guys are like, why do you care? But I like looking at it anyway. But they got their fancy costumes. And he's still good friends in this point. Here's the sunglass thing. Like I said, he's like, I wants them to be as close to the original as possible. And the guy's like, okay, sure. And takes it away and goes.
I really read this scene as it's interesting that I hadn't really thought of it in the sense that how important, you mentioned how important this character is to him. I read this as Simon like falling into his bad ways of like overthinking and being demanding, and he's still an unknown actor. He's not a star yet.
I did at the beginning. That makes me think the sunglasses thing must have been in the second episode, because I remember thinking after I seen it, oh, that's why it was important to him. Like it was supposed to be. But yes, he seems like he's just being an asshole, to be honest.
No. I mean, I don't think he's being an asshole. This is Simon's tendency is to overthink everything. And
yes, that's true too.
And to get himself in trouble with this like perfection, this search for perfection.
Yeah, that's true
and
too.
Not being,
sorry, go ahead.
Not getting out of his own way kind of thing, right? He's not a star yet, and he's like pushing this guy in a way that I was like, oh, is he going to get called to the director and get fired again?
Yeah. No, I was just meaning like I think they're clearly sort of sometimes making fun of the way actors do. Some actors act.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I that was a little harsh to say he's being an asshole, but he's like, oh, I want to fake it, like that kind of thing.
I get the sunglasses part. I was okay with that. It was when he was complaining about the line that I was like, I wish he would stop. Like he's
yeah, it was cringy. But then it ended up he just wanted to change the one line. So I mean, maybe that's what he wanted from the beginning. I don't know. I think he kind of stopped because Trevor gave him a look.
Trevor saved his ass. Trevor
did.
saved his ass.
But to be fair, I mean, to change a line, like they do that. And is there anything wrong with him doing it if he doesn't do it to like 50,000 lines in the show? No. But yeah, changing everything constantly is a problem.
Everything we've seen about Simon, he doesn't stop at one line.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. But he did here. He's learning.
And he's not, I mean, a lot of actors, I mean, most actors don't change lines. And he's not George Clooney. He's not a co-executive producer. He's not he's a totally unknown actor, right? He's an unknown actor who's like never been in anything. I feel like he's pushing it and overanalyzing it. Like, yeah. But anyway, at any rate, yeah, Trevor saved him. Trevor saved him again, right? Like, where would this guy be without Trevor?
Exactly. The Golden Child makes the point he's acting that way because the movie was his perfect childhood memory with his dad. Everything had to be perfect.
Yeah.
I do agree with that, but I also agree with what you're saying. Like, this is what he did before. This is what got him fired. But I do get that he wants this to be perfect. And I do agree with that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look, actors do it all the time. They change things that they don't feel. But you're right. He's been in nothing. He really probably wouldn't have the clout to even ask. But I mean,
look, I'm not an actor, but we interview so many actors who say, no, we don't ad lib. It's on the page.
It depends on the director.
It's written that way for a reason. And yes, there are certain directors that encourage. Yes, absolutely, Jamie, you're right. That there are sets.
Sometimes they do that, and it really depends on the production.
This really read to me as Simon's bad habits.
Yeah.
What do you think, AJ?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it depends. I mean, you know, like Karen said, we've talked to many, and I mean, but it's going to depend on the director. It's going to depend on who the actor is. I'm sure if Tom Cruise said, "Hey, I want to change this line," the director would be like, "Sure, what do you want it to be?" You know. But Simon's not Tom Cruise. Simon's not.
He's nobody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Now, after this movie, he could probably do it, but he hasn't actually finished the movie.
After the movie. Yes, after the movie, because as we see in the last episode, after the movie, he's a big hit. He gets his choice of whatever he wants to do.
Yeah. I want to ask you guys something. Not that this is anything important, but I just noticed this and it's cute. I'm just curious if there's like a point to this. Did you see this pineapple? I just happened to see it. It's like, I don't know what it is. A cake, something. It's got a little smiley face on it. It's a pineapple made of something. Do you see it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see it.
I wonder what it was. And I wonder if it's like a joke on the set or something, because that's what it looks like it was stuck in there as a joke. But especially because this show is pretty meta. But yeah, look, Simon is definitely learning, and he is learning to listen to Trevor. What? I'm sorry, I was seeing Golden Child said he's the doorman. You mean how? Because he kind of changed as he got into it. I'm assuming you mean.
Yeah. Remember how the doorman completely got sucked into the whole Hollywood thing?
Yeah. Look, it's probably easy to be sucked into that, though. To be fair, I mean, I don't think that. That's why I said you go from 0 to 100 with nothing in between. Really, that would mess with your head. It really would. But it doesn't mean you are an
overnight fame.
Yeah. All right. So then we have the dinner for his agent and her company. And he has brought Trevor along, and they're not happy that he brought Trevor along because he brings them everywhere. I guess just because they wanted to talk to him about his next role and didn't want Trevor interfering, for one. But they're like, you should do this role next. There's a big important role. I forget what it was, Shonda Rhimes or something.
Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah. And they're like, this would be perfect for you. And he's like, what do you think, Trevor? And Trevor's like, no, you should wait until it's done. And, to be fair, he wasn't wrong, because she did say after, now you can pick what you want. So maybe it wasn't bad advice.
No.
I mean, at the time, I thought it was bad advice, but
I thought it was good. No, I agreed with Trevor, actually. I thought it was good advice. Wait and see. Why not?
Yeah, the only thing I would think though is if the movie tanks, then he can't get anything. Or at least if he's
Well,
lined it
yeah,
up, because their
that
point.
is true.
Like, at
Yeah,
least
but
get
see,
something
they
out.
wanted him to sign a contract, so he would have been locked in.
No, he would be, but I'm just saying, like, at the same time, I guess you could look at it either way. If the movie tanks, you could never get another role. I'm not, not wouldn't. I mean, you could potentially not get another role, but
Right.
at the same time, if the movie does really good, you're going to get a shit salary
Exactly.
compared to what you could have got. So,
Exactly.
yeah, you can look at it either way.
I mean, look at it this way: he was betting on himself.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, look, if the movie tanks, he can still be dropped from a subsequent project. Like, this would not necessarily be guaranteed. But that's neither here nor there. As I read this scene, I did feel I thought it was good advice, but I thought Simon has becoming to rely on Trevor too much and seems unable to make any decision or do anything without checking in with Trevor first. He's very insecure and defers to Trevor throughout every question that's asked in the scene, right?
Yeah, you talked when we were talking earlier about his confidence at the end of the episode, and I think you're totally right. I think that I think the truth is he's been hiding himself for so long, and it's like sometimes I think he doesn't know how to be.
Well,
you know,
not for nothing. I think that's a good thing that he defers to Trevor, because he'd probably, if he wasn't deferring to Trevor, he'd probably be getting himself in some kind of trouble.
Yeah. Trevor maybe made some very bad decisions in the past, but Trevor seems to know what he's doing when it comes.
Trevor understands the business of Hollywood.
Yeah. So I guess he did give him good advice. I really didn't know at the time. I'm like, is that good advice? I don't know, but it turned out it was good.
Actually, I disagree a little bit. Trevor's advice, I think, throughout is not really about the business of Hollywood. Trevor, is an actor, and he's devoted to his decision is always about the craft. Like, he's like, do a play, don't do a movie, do a play. And Janelle says, we're doing this so you don't have to do plays anymore. Like, plays don't pay.
I know, but Simon's like, but I like plays. Like, you don't have
yes, he
to
does say that, but I mean, Trevor's advice. Trevor's not a business advisor. Trevor's an act. Like, Trevor's decision is always going to be about the acting and not about the.
Yeah,
that's what it should be about.
He's the guy that takes the part based on the script, and not that that's a bad thing necessarily. I'm just saying, like, he goes by if he likes the part and doesn't care about anything else.
I mean, many famous actors who we like, make movies for money. They make decisions sometimes about the money. Like, they not do. Every
at least actor. Beginning, anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Harrison Ford.
Yes.
He's come out and said that.
Oh, I think it depends. At the beginning, they definitely would, I would think, which is normal.
Don't tell me Scarlett Johansson made that crappy Jurassic Park movie because it was great acting as an actress, right?
Maybe you like Jurassic Park, though, too. There's always that possibility.
I mean, plenty of actors make decisions for the money throughout their careers, And
that doesn't make them not a good actor, either.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But Trevor makes decisions. I feel like, I mean, Trevor is he's kind of delusional and cuckoo himself, right? And his advice is always it's not really about.
It isn't really about Simon, which is what it should be about.
Yes, I do think that Trevor has Simon's best interest at heart. Trevor's brain is fried on drugs, and he's a nut job, and he's in denial about his own legal situation.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, he's looking at it from a different point of view.
I do think he means well, just because but it's ironic that he seems to mean well, and Simon is going to go with a decision when all along, Simon's not honest and has this ulterior motive and is betraying him.
You mean Trevor? You said
Trevor, yeah. Sorry, Trevor, yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, it ends up good advice. So then, I mean, in the end, it ends up good advice. Whether it was good advice when he was giving it is irrelevant. It ends up good advice, is my point. Okay, so this is where they're finding out that the woman, I have her name here somewhere if I can.
Which woman? Janelle, his manager?
Yeah, Janelle. Why do I have 108 up? No wonder why I'm looking at the wrong thing. No, not his manager. The New York Times
Oh,
Yeah.
Kathy.
writer. I don't know
Kathy
where her name went.
Kathy Freeland.
Yes, Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy Friedman. Yeah. So yeah, she is going to come and do a piece on the two of them. They were told that at dinner, and Simon is freaking out because Simon is Simon. But she has assassinated, however the hell you want to say that, given them character assassinations. I can't say it right. Other actors, like they were making fun of Gordon Levitt, and yeah, that was funny. But yeah, he's worried, maybe within good reason. And obviously he's worried she'll find out his secret, and he's freaking out. And Trevor's like, this is a good thing. Just chill a little bit, and we'll be careful, type of thing. And they do get through it, and then she gets there. I really thought I had her name somewhere.
And her name is Kathy. Kathy. Her name is
Kathy.
Kathy.
It's the name of the episode.
Friedman. Oh, is it? I did not know that.
Yes.
I don't even remember what I typed for the episode names. I looked them up. I don't remember them. But here, this is where, since the show is meta, I kind of feel like some of these things, like her, like that's probably a name of somebody to do with something that's, a joke. Who knows? I'm just saying it could be. But yeah, he acts kind of like an idiot because Trevor isn't there. So he's freaking out. She's like, ignore me, pretend I'm not here. He does not know how to do that. Although, to be fair, that would be kind of hard to do. But
this character, she's a little bit of a send up of an entertainment reporter also. The way she's like, just ignore me. I'll just be following you and just ignore me. I'll be
a fly on the wall.
Yeah, it's such a contrived way of approaching the interview, right?
It is. I forgot to say, Trevor did give him advice when he asked what he should do. He said, because nobody likes him on the set, basically, nobody talks to him. And this is part of why he doesn't have friends, because he's very self-centered. And Trevor's like, just talk to people, ask them about their days, say, kind of stuff that Simon should be aware of, you should do anyway. But, I almost felt like when he said that to him, and Simon started talking to people about their day. Look, I know it was meant as a joke and everything, but I kind of think that he got it a little bit. He seemed to, because even later, like when he was talking to his ex-girlfriend and saying, yeah, I know I'm self-centered. Like, I think he's learning so much from Trevor of how to be a better person, as much as Trevor is not necessarily a great person. He's been a very good friend. And I think they've rubbed off on each other and a lot and help each other.
But he takes it to the extreme. I'm sure you noticed, and AJ, did you notice, like, Trevor says, oh, well, use people's names. And then Simon says, well, Kathy, it's great to meet you, Kathy. So he calls her Kathy like 8
times. I didn't notice. That's funny.
Oh, I absolutely, I knew where it was going to go too. As soon as he told me, I was like, oh, he's going to go overboard.
I didn't notice the Kathy, but I did notice his, oh, you don't get me a drink. I can get myself one. I always want to get my own drink, or whatever he said.
And he addresses him as Luca. And Luca says, oh, you know my name?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious that he is going overboard. And I know she's clearly not stupid enough to fall for that, but it's funny. Look, it's meant to be funny. I find it funny that this is supposed to be this big, as I said, from my understanding, supposed to be this big budget movie, and the set that they have looks like the set from whatever it is, is it the 70s, whenever it was they made that. So I think that's kind of funny. But
maybe they're trying to recreate the 80s aesthetic.
Yeah.
80s. Yeah, they might be. But she's walking on set. I don't, that is kind of cool though. I don't know if it's supposed to be, I guess, the inside of a spaceship or something, because that kind of looks.
To be fair, Jamie, sometimes the sets in real life don't look as good as they end up looking when they're on screen.
That is true. I guess
they haven't added all the.
I mean, you've been on enough sets that you should know that.
No, I do know that, and you are correct. But yeah, you never know what it's gonna look like when they light it up. But it is actually kind of cool, but it does look very 80s. And then Trevor shows up, and he actually kind of overdoes it a little bit too, which I thought was funny. Excuse me. that he's kind of over trying to be extra polite to her and everything else. And then this is where Luke, was it Luca? You said where Luca needed. I guess I don't have a picture. I thought I had a picture.
Luke is the other guy, but
Yeah, I know. He's the guy with the curly hair that's right here on the side. You can't see. I thought I got a picture.
Oh yeah.
He's getting a birthday present for the costume designer, and Simon's like, "Hey, get her a present from us." And to be fair, that was something that would have been nice for him to do, regardless of anything. Maybe you wouldn't necessarily spend $600 and some on it unless you already had money. But it was funny. But yeah, he's definitely overdoing it for sure. But hey, she'll benefit, right?
Well, that's the funny thing too, because I don't even think he doesn't realize how phony he seems in front of the reporter. Like, it's so obvious to everybody but him that he is coming off as phony.
Right. No, I agree. But he's, I think, starting to get to know them, hopefully. And she says that she talked to his girlfriend and his mother. I don't think he knows yet she talked to his brother.
No, he doesn't.
But he found out that she talked to his ex because
he didn't know about the mother either. He didn't know about the mother either until he called her.
Okay, that's right. He did. But she says, "Is there anybody else I should ask about you?" And he's like, "No, that's it." And it almost comes off like him not wanting her to talk to people, as opposed to he doesn't have any friends, because she doesn't know that. But she has talked to his ex. He's worried. I don't think he was worried about he clearly wasn't worried about his ex telling her his secret. He didn't even know she knew it. He was worried about her saying something, I guess, that would scare the woman away and make him look bad. I think this scene was really sad, though, to me, because she's like, "Of course I knew your secret. I lived with you. How could I not know your secret? I waited for you to tell me." And basically saying it didn't matter to me. I was with you anyway, but you won't be yourself, and you could have been. And I thought that was really sad because, he maybe could have had a better relationship with her if he had realized that and just opened up. Which I hadn't really thought about. Like, it does make total sense. If she's living with him, she would know. She can't. I mean, granted, in real world, maybe not. But when you live in the world where there's superpowers, it's kind of easy to figure out without too much, investigating into it. But yeah, I don't know. I found this scene very sad. But I do appreciate that he, like I said, he's starting to realize maybe where he's been going wrong. And he's like, "Yeah, I was selfish. I was a dick."
I don't know about that. I mean, there's a early part of the scene where she says, "Oh, I was going to leave LA, but then I was cast. I got a job." And he's like, "Oh, you did?" And she goes on to describe how she's got a role in Severance. And it's the first time she's ever had a character that got to wear more than one outfit. It's a episode arc or whatever. And his reaction, Simon, he says, "Oh, really? Yeah, my wardrobe costs like $5 million. He immediately turns the conversation to himself and talks about his wardrobe and the amount of money that was spent on his costuming. And then like that, the conversation comes to this very awkward halt. And I thought
realized it a little bit.
I thought, wow, he is a really arrogant, self-centered person who can't even really be happy for her and ask her a few questions about her success. He has to immediately turn it around to himself. I thought that was like, I'm like, no wonder she left him. No wonder she was happy.
And you know what?
I think he's starting to become aware because he says
I even felt before that. I felt he was kind of condescending towards her when she's like, I was gonna leave, but then I got a part, and he's like, "Really?" Like, it came off like, "Really? You actually got a job as an actress?" Like, that's how it. Not saying that's what he intended, but that's how it came across to me.
Yes, me too.
And then as the conversation continued, like Karen just said, it went, she's like, "Oh yeah, I get 2 outfits, and this is the first time I've had a job." And then he went into his spiel. It's like he just when you think he might get it, sometimes you realize he still doesn't get it. He's very.
I thought by the end of the conversation he finally got it a little bit more. That's what I thought was that's how I looked at it. Anyway.
I don't think he ever gets it.
At the end of the conversation, because he says to her that he knows he's self-centered. He knows he's a dick. Like he doesn't. I don't think he realizes it at the beginning of the conversation, but I think I kind of took it as because he's trying to be more aware, like as he's changing throughout the series, he's kind of starting to pick up on these things. And now that he's talking to her and the way she acts, he's kind of like, wait, maybe I am wrong. I don't know. That's how I took it. That he
But
was
he still does it.
finally. Yes, he did. That's what
He
I'm saying. By the
says,
end of the conversation,
I know I can be, and then is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And like, is he trying to be better? Yes and no. I mean, yeah, Jamie, I get what you're saying, but he's only trying because he's afraid that the New York Times reporter will write that he's a jerk with no friends. That's the only reason why he asked these people's names, why he's buying a present for someone. He didn't really he's not really motivated to change. It's only the fear of like, he's so motivated by fear is his only motivating factor for the first like 7 episodes, and it's only like in the 8th episode that he matures. Really, I feel like his being nice to people on set was not a true effort to change.
No, not at the beginning.
Jamie, let me finish my sentence. It was, or what I should say, shut up. We always joke about telling each other to shut up, you guys. Like oh God, I lost my train of thought now, but it's not a motivation to really try to do better. It's a motivation to conceal his true self from the New York Times reporter out of fear that she will, I don't know what, he's afraid that she'll find out he's got powers, but he's just more afraid of like character assassination, which, to be fair, she's a pretty tough reporter and she did write some mean stuff about like white bread Gordon Levitt.
She's brutal, as Golden Child said. Yes, I agree with you. I was just saying I got the opinion that he's kind of seeing it as he's doing it, that maybe it's getting in his head. I hope. I don't know. That's how I felt, but I don't know. But yes, he definitely is only doing it at the beginning for that, for sure.
And I do agree with you that it felt very sad that she's like, I knew, of course I knew, I lived with you, I loved you. And and she says to him in the scene, I think Jamie and AJ, is where she says, I hope you find somebody you can be honest with. And that you feel something to that effect, right?
Yes.
And I typed in the chat at the watch party, I wrote, he found that person. It's his BFF Trevor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, which is it's kind of sad in its own right, but no, I don't know. I just feel like he's learning at least. I think that's kind of the point.
I don't think he is.
I just by the end of the episode. Well, I don't know. I think by the end of the episode he is some, maybe not completely.
But then he does it again though. He always assumes the worst and never gives anybody the benefit of the doubt, and always tries to turn it around to like. What we're going to see shortly, when he calls his mom and his mom's like, oh, I just talked to a nice reporter later. And he's like, oh my God. It's like, and she talked to Eric and he immediately thinks the worst.
Well, to be fair, Eric was kind of an ass.
Okay. Eric's an ass, but Eric does himself no favors by revealing his secret. Okay.
Right.
That brings it down on the whole family. But of course, what does Simon do? Simon assumes that Eric told, so he's like, "What? My brother and I aren't that really close, and it's complicated." And she's like, "Oh, your brother had nothing but nice things to say about you. Like, let her lead the conversation." And then he defends all the time. He always goes on the defensive first before he needs to.
Yeah, I thought he was a little. I guess we're going to get to that. In a minute, Jamie. We're going to get to that maybe in a second. Golden Child says the reporter knows that she will get the real truth from his family and past relationships, and that's what she got, no matter what he displayed. Yeah. That's correct. So when she, and it was interesting, Kimberly says, and it was interesting because he was so worried she was looking for dirt on him, but in the end it was Trevor she was doing the gotcha. Yeah. I thought with the bit with Eric, like he says to Trevor, he says, this was way out of line. AJ made me think of it when he says about Eric, he says, oh, my brother's been waiting his whole life to ruin me. And this is just what he wants, to make sure that I can't ever act again. And I can't. And I did feel a little like, whoa, like Eric was a jerk at the dinner party, but I don't I never got the impression that Eric's been waiting his whole life to destroy Simon.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
That's my point.
I think I don't know. I think Simon feels like everybody's always looked down on him, whether it's true or not. I think that's how Simon feels. But I just wanted to get at before we move too far away from it. I do think though he's learning. I felt like by the end of, and granted, this is I'm mentioning ahead of time, but I'm just mentioning it now. I felt like the guy at the end, that the second episode, the guy that he was shadowing, whatever, however you want to call it, he seemed to treat him more like a human being. I felt like, and yeah, he was using him.
He was using him because he was using him.
But he didn't. I don't know. Like he treated his family nice. Like he didn't act like he's acted around a lot of them. Like he seems like that's why I was saying like I feel like he's maybe sort of starting to.
Oh my, Jamie, we're going to get to that, and I'm going to disagree with you.
No, he was still using him. I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm just saying when he talked to him, he seemed to like, get along with him. And I don't know. That's kind of how maybe I'm just being too optimistic. I don't know. I want to bring up Kimberly's comment though did I bring up the comment about the flashback? We did not. But as we've said before, the thing is for what people, well, first I should say so people know what she's talking about. At the beginning of the episode in the flashback at the recap, he said something to Trevor like only my family ever knew. I don't think he said that in the other episode. I think that was added. But as we've talked about before, the people who make the recap clips are not necessarily the people that choose what goes in the final version of the episode. And they may not have realized it wasn't in or whatever. It was just probably something that was like a line that was cut or we're forgetting it. But I definitely didn't remember it. Not that it was super important. We had brought it up when we were in the chat talking about it. But yeah, I didn't remember the line at any rate. But it was just
wait. So what are you saying that
in the recap at the very beginning, whenever he's talking to Trevor,
previously? You mean in the previously?
Yeah, in the previously on the show.
I never watched the previously. So what's the question?
Okay. Well, he said something like, "No one besides my family has ever known," or something like that. And I don't remember.
He says you're the first. He says you're the first person beside my family that ever saw me like that.
Okay, maybe he did then, or maybe the line was
slightly. It was when they're sitting in the car after he smashed the island.
It's possible that they did it like a voiceover too, so it made it seem different. Like
no, that scene happened in that episode. He said
no. I mean, when they were showing the clip, like for the previous, it might be that they had the audio for a different clip because it was like I think they showed when he was pounding the counter when they played the audio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's very possible.
That
well, obviously, it was very obviously wasn't talking when he pounded the counter.
No, right. I'm just saying, I think that was the way it was in recap. Maybe I'm wrong. The point is, I didn't remember it. I could be wrong. It could have been in it anyway. You're probably right. I was just saying sometimes they do that, which irritates me when they do it. But they do it a lot. But I'll
be honest with you. Actually, I didn't notice. I didn't remember him saying it. Like I actually caught it the second time because I actually watched the episode 3 twice, because Damon hadn't watched it with me live the first time because he was in bed and I had to get it watched before the podcast. So I rewatched it with him the next day and I caught the line the second time. So because it's funny because I was like, oh shit, I was wrong because we were having the conversation about whether or not his family knew. And when I caught the line the second time, I was like, oh, they do know about his powers.
Okay, well then I guess we all missed the line the first time. Let's put it that way. All right, so this is where his mother calls him and he finds out, or he's worried she said something she shouldn't.
Well, he says
his mother would is beyond me. But
I don't think he would think his mother would be malicious, but he says,
no.
But he says, "Oh, mommy, you didn't mention the fire in 5th grade," and she's like, "No."
Like, why would I do that?
Yeah, why would you even mention that, right? Like that.
Especially his mother's the sweetest woman in his life.
Yeah,
like,
and I don't think she's.
She's all about Simon, So why would she do anything to derail him?
I mean, I think he thinks that maybe she wouldn't do it intentionally, but cluelessly or something. But yeah, he's very. It's very. He's so fearful, and I get it. Like you're hiding, but it's like if I had a secret. Like let's say I had. I mean, I'm trying to think. It reminds me a little bit of things I've seen about like say like rocks us in the 80s who didn't want anybody to know he had HIV, and would be afraid. Or let's say you are an actor who like had like some secret in your past. I'm trying to think of other actors who had a secret. Like, let's say you were a murderer and you became a famous actor and you didn't want like, right. Or sometimes they have a previous, I don't know, relationships they don't want people to know about or whatever. Like, he's so fearful. I really don't mean to compare his powers to like, you know, what was at the time like a stigmatized disease, but it reminds me a little bit of, he's just so afraid that this horrible thing will come out, and that he's not even really afraid of going to prison. He's afraid that he can never act again. Right.
Yeah. Golden Child's right, though. Thinks he's more scared that the reporter will manipulate them into telling them.
Yeah.
That's a good point. She seems to be that kind of person from what they've said. But yeah,
that's a good observation.
They were smart and apparently didn't say anything that wasn't nice.
Well, why would they, right? It's his mother.
Yeah. It is his family. Like, I kind of figured as much as he expected his brother probably said something nasty that he probably didn't. I mean, he's still his brother. I would hope that even if you were jealous of your brother, as I don't know if he was jealous or he just felt like people never thought he was the special one, because they always kind of treated Simon like, with kid gloves or whatever. I would hope that you would still love your brother and wouldn't screw something like that up for them, regardless of how you felt. Some brothers would, but I kind of figured that he didn't, and it was just Simon worrying.
Yeah, no, I mean, Eric is Eric's a jerk, but it's not coming from a place of hate. You know what I mean? Like, he's just looking at his brother like, it's aggravation and not so much jealousy or anything. But I mean, Eric wasn't wrong. Did he go over the top with the whole birthday present thing? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it comes from a place of frustration because his brother has just been doing nothing his whole life, and we don't know what their relationship growing up was like, especially since what we see of Simon is he is kind of self-centered. So yeah, he if he's that way around Eric too, I could see why Eric's frustrated with
it. It does seem that Simon had to be treated with kid gloves his entire life so that he wouldn't get angry and accidentally set the kitchen on fire, blow up the house, whatever, right? Like, it probably people always were like, the family was like, don't make your brother mad. Jamie is an only child, right? I have a brother. And any of us who are on here that have siblings, like, these childhood sibling rivalry relationship stuff, like, does follow you well into your adulthood. Yeah. And like, so my brother and I, okay, let's say what Simon said, we have a complicated relationship, and we're not super tight BFF. My brother can be a real jerk. I hope he's not watching this. He probably would say, my brother would say,
Karen, you could be a jerk.
He probably would say that. But my brother would never like tell my secrets the first times, right? He's not going to.
It's one of those, like if somebody was to say to your brother, "Hey, Karen's a real jerk," he'd be like, "Yeah, but you can't say that about her." That's why I said I can say it about her, but you can't say. I feel like that's Eric and Simon are probably have a similar relationship.
And also for Eric to go out of his way to, like, Simon thinks Eric wants to ruin him. For Eric to do that would be really devastating to their mother. And I don't think Eric would want to hurt their mother. From what we've seen, he's a devoted son. Eric's a pretty devoted, they're both devoted sons. And I don't think Eric would want to hurt their mother by doing that to Simon. But Simon,
I don't think he would either.
But Simon really thinks the worst. Like, Simon actually says he's been waiting his whole life to like do this. And he wants to like stop me from acting and being creative, and he's very
I think some of that though is that he feels like his brother doesn't think he's made anything of himself, and that he doesn't.
Okay,
to be fair, whether
he hasn't made anything of himself until he got in this movie.
No, but I mean, I think that his brothers hurt him, and yeah, I mean, he's blowing it out of proportion, yes, but that doesn't mean that the way he feels isn't valid, that he's been hurt by his brother. But yes, he does. I agree. He does think the worst of him. And that's why I'm saying I would hope that if you loved your family, you wouldn't maliciously do something like that. Even if you were jealous of your brother or, got pissed off at them once in a while, I would hope that you wouldn't do something like that. Like
Simon
I said,
goes
would,
to extreme in every situation.
He does.
Yeah. There's no
No
in
middle ground.
between for Simon. He's like 0 to 60. There's no.
Yeah, that is true. Hey, Debbie. Let's see. Golden Child says, I guarantee Simon's brother would purposely embarrass him around his friends while growing up. That's where Simon's insecurities come from. I agree. I think he probably did too. Although I think
we've seen nothing. That's an assumption, and we've seen nothing to dictate that.
Okay, I'm gonna say whose brother wouldn't go. I mean,
the only reason I say you're right, we haven't seen anything, but I say I agree with that because I feel like his reaction to the way his brother acted at that party to me was a reaction of this has been going on a long time.
That's a family thing.
This is a brand new thing. Thanks, Dieter. Yes. Everybody, please like the video and hype it if you can. Subscribe to SciFi Vision. It's always appreciated.
I mean, it does seem that Simon was picked on plenty by other kids, right? Like
he was.
He
has low self-esteem. I mean, he clearly doesn't have confidence, and that's part of his problem. I think.
And he has I mean, let's be charitable and say they're like personality quirks that he has that when you're a kid don't really, being the quiet kid, being the artistic kid, being the fearful kid, being like those are things that other kids pick on you. It certainly is a way that siblings pick on their younger siblings. I'm not saying that I agree with AJ. We haven't seen that, but sure, siblings pick on each other sometimes also, and that's a normal thing. But we don't know how mean Simon was, but we don't know how mean Eric was. We do know that Simon is sensitive about these things.
He is sensitive, but we do know that Eric was an ass at that party. That's the only thing we do know. We can safely say that.
And B's right, Golden Child. I'm sure you're right. He was doing it as an adult at his mom's party. He absolutely was doing it as a kid. That's a fair comment, I think. For sure.
Yeah, that's why I said I think
comment, but I disagree. Something somebody does as an adult doesn't mean that they did the same thing as a kid.
Like he could be worse as an adult. He wanted to make
honestly, usually it's the other way around. Usually you're worse as a kid.
He wanted to make sure he made a point.
Which is kind of the point. If he's doing it as an adult, he's probably done it as a kid, I think is the point we're trying to make.
He wanted to make sure he made a point to let everyone know Simon is a failure in front of everyone. That's not a new pattern. Yeah. It did come across, it was pretty childish to be like, to call Simon out like that in front of his mother and be like, I'm the good, he was calling attention to himself as the good son and Simon as you have to borrow money from your mother to buy her a present. You're a failure. It was pretty.
Yeah. I think Eric didn't get the attention he wanted because the attention was maybe always put on Simon because of what was wrong.
But you know what, Eric? Simon goes overboard on everything he does too.
He does. Yeah.
It seems to be a family trait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it appears to be a family trait. And at that party, nobody liked Simon. Like every single person Trevor talked to was like, "Yeah, I was in carpool with Simon for 4 years. I never spoke to him." Right? Like nobody likes Simon. He's not. He's the hero of this, and he's sympathetic in some ways, and yet all these things happen to remind us of Simon's character flaws.
Yeah. Excuse me. All right. So.
Oh, that's a good. Can you go back 1 second?
Yeah. What was I forget which picture I was on there?
This picture where Simon's having a meltdown and Trevor's talking him through it and reminding him to breathe. And the next shot that you haven't capped, but it's fine. Remember, the reporter's there watching this.
Yeah. I thought about that and I kind of wondered, I don't know what you're supposed to think she thinks, but I know that I was thinking, what would she think? And I think it shows that they're good friends and that he's helping him out. But yeah, I was kind of curious, what's she thinking right now? Because she sees this.
Oh, I thought she was seeing Simon having a meltdown and Simon.
She does. Well, to be fair, I don't think she knew what she was seeing because she didn't see the first part of that. She does see Trevor whispering to him and then Simon turns around, his eyes aren't red anymore.
I mean, I thought because this had been set up, the episode was set up. Simon thinks it's going to be a hit piece on Simon. We're set up to believe that that she has nefarious motives and is looking to embarrass them. And whatever she's looking to assassinate their characters. And so I took it as I watched it that she sees Simon in this moment of vulnerability and Trevor like talking him down, and that she's seeing this like weirdly like dependent, really like she was going to be able to read into that something bad about Simon being unable to handle the pressure and needing his co-star to help him and all. That's kind of what I thought maybe she might. I mean, I didn't think it, right?
See, like I said, I kind of saw it the other way. I more saw it like if I seen it, and again, that's why I said I was trying to think like what she would think. If I saw it and I was her, and well, she's a different kind of person, but I would think, wow, he's a good friend. He's helping him. He's having a panic attack or whatever, and he's telling him how to breathe and helping him out. They are good friends. That's how I would take it. But I was like thinking, how would she take it? And I didn't really have an answer for that.
Yeah, I don't think she knows what she saw because they weren't being loud. No. She wasn't close enough to hear their conversation. All she sees is Simon's back, and Trevor sees her as soon as she walks up. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think she can make up her whatever she wants to make up without any proof of anything. But
well, at any rate, we find out as the story goes on that it was not Simon she was trying to hurt, I guess, their character, but Trevor, because she's more interested in Trevor having been arrested and having been
I gotta say, I thought those were fair questions. I don't know if that's trying to hurt Trevor. I think you were the Mandarin. You were the face. You were the face of of a terrorist. The face of this guy who was a very nefarious person who bought you off for drugs. Everybody knows it, and I think for her not to ask those questions would make her not a very good journalist.
You're right. But I'm just saying it was kind of like he thought she was going to say bad things to him, regardless of the reason. And she was actually saying them to Trevor, whether they were in a bad way. I'm just saying things that were negative.
And I don't mean to say every journalist, like Jamie, you would not ask those questions.
No, I would not.
Because
we're told not to ask personal questions.
Yes, we are told not to ask personal questions.
Because we are not.
I also don't work for the New York Times.
We are not the New York Times. She's a famous reporter for the New York Times. I think that she was within her rights to ask those questions, and that Trevor was naive if he didn't expect them. It was Trevor who should have been terrified of this reporter and the character assassination. But Trevor lives in this sort of optimistic bubble that is only about art, and that this journal should only ask about art, maybe. And Simon, in this sense, is maybe a little bit more real world. Trevor should have been really afraid.
It's funny, they're both opposite extremes.
I had no problem with her questions, and they weren't even accusatory or vindictive or anything. It was pretty straightforward, but I think Trevor got taken off guard, which Trevor doesn't get taken off guard much, and when he does, he's usually pretty good at working the conversation.
He was focused,
but he didn't have it. The problem was because she caught him off guard, and if he wasn't in the situation that he was in with damage control, I think he would have been okay. But because he can't answer it in the right way, because if he answers it honestly, Simon's about to get very pissed off, and so he's like that's why he was like, you were right about her. She's gonna Gordon Joseph Levitt me.
I think that kind of what you were saying. I think that when she was asking them whether she said something wrong or not, because they were legit questions, I think Trevor was thinking of all the things he did to Simon. And I think he was worried that Simon's going to find out. And I think he was more thinking about that than maybe just what she was saying, if that makes sense. Like, we're supposed to see, see that, like what's coming. And because they were legit questions. And truthfully, he's an actor. Everybody knows he was the Mandarin. Her saying that is not going to make people be like, oh, he shouldn't be in this movie. Like, people already know that. You're not telling them anything they don't know. I'm sure it's public record. You were arrested. So
Trevor is playing a role. Trevor is playing the role of Trevor. So Trevor, when we met him in Iron Man, Trevor is like this drug-addled, like washed up, nothing guy, right? And Trevor, the Trevor we see in Wonder Man, Trevor Slattery, thespian, mentor, like he's reinvented himself as this Hollywood guy, right? And it's a role that Trevor is right? Do you get what I'm saying? This is like new Trevor. This is like his new reinvented self. He was already headed to Hollywood to try to be this role before Damage Control got him, right? And so now he's playing a role on top of a role.
Yes, I don't think he's being disingenuous, though.
I think he's being totally disingenuous with himself. Like, he believes that he's put that shit behind him, and he's all in on who he thinks he is now, his reinvention of himself.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying I don't think he's purposely trying to deceive people with what he's saying. I think he's made himself believe it. It's kind of like you said, he's deceiving himself. I think that, yeah, you're right. I mean, my point was just that everybody knows this. This isn't like new information. It's public record. He was arrested. So I don't know why he's getting so upset. And that's why I said it's kind of like they're at opposite extremes. You know, Simon is so she's gonna say all these negative things, and Trevor's so worried about that. It's just kind of goes back and forth.
I guess what was most surprising about it is that when confronted with these questions, that Trevor wasn't able to explain it away. Oh yeah, I was arrested. It was a mistake at the airport, and then they let me go. I was held in the airport for 2 hours, and then they let me go. Like Trevor can be very smooth and glib sometimes, and yet he somehow is totally unprepared for this absolute fact to come out, and like maybe he's in a little denial about who he was in the past.
It's because he got caught off guard, I think, more than anything.
Yeah. And I'm just saying he shouldn't have been caught off guard because
no. But like I said, if Simon's not there, I think the conversation goes differently. You know what I mean?
It's because Simon, I get it, because Simon was there. He's almost like caught red-handed, and it's like, if Simon wasn't there, he would have been more smooth with this reporter, you're saying. Yes. I get that, AJ. Yes. Thank you. Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that it was kind of almost dumb, though, that he's lying, because he's like, no, I wasn't arrested. Like, really? You know you're going to get caught in this lie. You can't you can smooth your way out of it, like you're saying, but you can't just say, no, I wasn't arrested when it's, everyone knows you were arrested.
Well, technically, he wasn't, you know what, though? Just because he was taken away in handcuffs doesn't mean he was arrested.
Okay, that's true. But
you didn't have a lot of people get taken away in handcuffs and then are released without charges.
Yeah.
I
forgot exactly.
You're right. You're right. It's the presence of Simon. It's like he's caught red-handed and he's never told Simon any of this. And this video seems to have been previously not posted on the internet, which is insane, right? Like, this video is a shock to both Simon and Trevor when the reporter produced it.
Probably been out there. They just haven't seen it.
You know what I wondered at this point? Especially like, he's like, why are you calling me Slattery? I kind of wondered at first if she worked for Cleary.
Damage Control?
I thought that she was maybe like kind of being like, you better start giving us dirt, or, like kind of reminding him you're going to go back to prison. That's where I thought that was going at that moment.
Interesting.
But I mean, I was completely wrong. I thought maybe, but I guess it wouldn't necessarily make sense because she is a known New York journalist or New York Times journalist. So I guess I didn't think it through, but that was what I was thinking at that moment, like that she was working with him in some capacity.
It's interesting.
But she was not. And I don't know that she was necessarily trying to be mean either. Like, it's her job to do that. And you're right. She didn't ask something that she shouldn't have asked.
It wasn't malicious.
No, it wasn't. He took it maliciously, and he did not deal well with it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And he leaves, and she's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, which leads to the important part coming up.
Yeah. Their conversation. This is where, he ends up asking him, about being arrested, and because I think he says, like, were you really arrested? I think was part of the conversation. He admitted, he's like, well, you weren't really taking a deal, were you? Because that was part of what she said. You took a deal to not go back to prison or something to that
She
effect.
says, did you? She says, you never completed your sentence. Like,
Yeah,
what
how
happened?
did you?
Did you make a deal?
Yeah. Which he could have made anything up, really. And he could have probably gotten away with it, but he was so flustered he couldn't. But yeah, I think at this point, he's kind of reached the point where he is friends with Simon. He doesn't want to lie to him anymore, and he can't lie to him anymore. And he like just didn't know what to say. And he finally just let out the truth. And obviously we knew this was coming. And it was really hard to watch. I think it was really sad and heartbreaking because to Simon, he's like his only friend and he's been his best friend and been doing everything to help him. And suddenly it's like the veil's been lifted and he sees what's really been going on. And Simon, Simon's not going to deal well with it. He doesn't deal well with his anger. We already know that. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was very heartbreaking to watch this scene. I think they did.
So this scene pissed me off.
Oh, yeah.
And these scenes piss me off all the fucking time. Because I totally get why Simon's upset. I understand why he's angry. But Trevor does nothing to explain himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it happens in TV shows all the time. In this scene, and like I said, it's not just this show that pisses me off. It happens all the fucking time. But explain yourself, or at least attempt it. Maybe Simon doesn't want to hear it, and he puts it, walks away. But I know in the real world, something like this, I'm trying to explain myself. Hey, listen, yes, it started out that way. They asked me to do this, or they were going to put me in prison. But as I got to know you, you're my friend, and I've been feeding them false information, telling them that you're not something to that effect.
That's
exactly. He threatened. He came to me the other day and threatened to put me in jail, and I told him I needed more time. I haven't given them any information. I threw away the wire because I didn't want them to find. Give more information, but they don't because
they want him to think the worst.
Because of the story they want to tell. So that's why they do it this way, not because it's realistic.
No, you're right. And I said in the chat, I'm like, at least say that it started that way. It's not that way now. He doesn't even he makes
that's exactly my point.
It was annoying.
Like I said,
agree with that.
He does say
this all the time.
Trevor does say he does say I didn't know you then, but then he drops it. That's all he says really about that. He doesn't elaborate in the way that you guys are describing. He just says, I didn't know you then. It is heartbreaking, Jamie. It's not only like his only friend, Simon's only friend, but it's Simon's first friend that he's ever had, really, right? Like from what his mother said earlier, Trevor is Simon's first friend. And it is really heartbreaking. But I also agree, AJ, I think we all agree what you're saying is like he doesn't like really mount. Trevor doesn't really, he gives a kind of a lame defense of himself.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's because it's in service of the story.
I mean, he is guilt. He is feeling very guilty. It's true.
Yeah, because I do think AJ's totally right. I think it's because it's a story. But part of me wonders, does he also feel so guilty for what he's done because he's been feeling so guilty that it's almost like I can't give an excuse good enough. But yeah, I wish he would have tried because I was kind of saying the same thing. Like, just tell him it was at the beginning, not now. And he doesn't say anything. But yeah, that happens all the time.
And there may be a lot going on here for Trevor. He has a lot to feel guilty about in his life. He is a pretty terrible person.
Yeah,
and I don't mean the part about being on drugs. I don't mean that doesn't make a person a terrible person, but aligning yourself with being a fake terrorist, like the things he did. And I think really the thing he feels worse about is how he's treating Simon. I think he feels worse than he does about like being the Mandarin, right?
Yeah.
Golden Child. I think Trevor didn't know what type of friend he would truly ultimately be until he decided to take the fall for Simone. Simon.
I can't believe you read that. I'm like,
He didn't know what her friend he would be ultimately until he decided to take the fall for Simon, which made Simon do what he ended up doing for Trevor. It ends up being a really kind of beautiful friendship story, right?
it is. But it's like if he had just said to him, like he even said to him something like, "Oh, I didn't give him anything important." Like if he had said to him and actually explained what happened, like we would like him to, Simon may not have blown up. And I think that's the problem. They had to have Simon get mad enough that he exploded because otherwise he might have been able to talk him down.
And I think maybe what Golden Child was getting at is like Trevor maybe didn't defend himself as well as he could have because Trevor didn't know
how much it
meant. How much he meant to him until he had a day to think about it and decided to take the fall for him, right?
Yeah. And I think also like I said before, he probably also is kind of like, what I did was awful. How can I truly defend this? Because what I did was mean and wrong.
And yet he did what he had to do. Like we saw this with Cleary. Like Trevor doesn't give much of a defense. Like this guy Cleary is such an asshole. He has me where he wants me. I didn't know what to do. I'd never met you. I had to save my own ass, right? Like Cleary did kind of, I mean, they've threatened him. We discussed last week or the week before, I think it was AJ who first brought up, like, do we think Cleary really has any ammo or is he just playing Trevor? Like could Cleary really, I mean, he does put him in jail later because of what Trevor confessed, but could he really, does he really have anything on Trevor? Could he really put Trevor back in prison, or is it just the threat is enough to manipulate Trevor at that point 3 episodes ago, whenever that was, right?
Yeah. And as with everything in TV, because it's TV, they do dumb things. Like you also think if he had just told him, at the very beginning, when he decided not to betray him, what was going on, they could have come up with a game plan and maybe fixed this before it happened. But, it's a television show. There has to be plot for the TV show. And like I said, Simon has to be upset enough to explode. Otherwise, there's no show.
Yeah. I think there's also a part of Trevor that wanted the role of Barnaby as badly as Simon wanted Wonder Man. And Trevor doesn't betray that on the screen as much, but I felt like getting this role is a moment of redemption for Trevor to be cast in this major film, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Doc. Kaiju. Or not redemption of his soul, not redemption as a human being, but redemption as an actor for sure, right?
Yeah. And I think he was afraid he'd lose it if he didn't do what he said. I don't think it was all about his, life. I think it was about he wanted the role. It was important to him. All right. So Simon understandably gets upset. He goes to the set. Like they were what in his apartment? They were in the apartment, right?
No, they had met with the reporter, had said, let's have lunch in the studio the studio.
No, but I mean, this is it Simon's apartment, or is that maybe that's the trailer?
That's a trailer because he goes out to the trailer.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Like, why did he go to the set? But yeah, so he goes out to the set, which was like the worst place in a way he could have gone to.
Really? And, I thought it was the best. I thought it was the safest place. It's deserted. There's no one around. I thought he went there because he wouldn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't think about it that way. But he lets out his aggression, his power, whatever, and it basically implodes the whole building and it falls on him. So yeah, not great. And that she's standing there and sees him. I thought they were going to show him coming out and her know that he did it, but they didn't. Unless I missed something.
No, she doesn't know.
Which I really thought was what was coming there. So yeah, that is the end. Him standing in the dust and ashes there. So
I kind of like the way they do his power, his ionic energy release, and how it I like the effect that they use here.
I do too, and I'm glad we finally got an actual explanation too of what it is. I do appreciate that. All right, let's see. Let me switch to episode 8. Whoops, that is not switched. Why did it not switch? Hello? Hold on. That was episode. It is not switching. Sorry. You guys can talk. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not. I'm trying to switch it and it's not working.
AJ, so while Jamie's doing her thing, AJ, how are you liking? I know you haven't been the biggest fan of the show. How do you like these last?
Oh yeah, you weren't here yet, actually.
Yeah.
When I said this, I liked the last 3 episodes. The first 3 were very boring to me. Doorman was fun. Episode 5 started getting a little bit better, and then 6, 7, and 8 I've definitely liked more. But I realized at the end of this, and it's kind of coming out tonight, I don't really like Simon. I think that's been the problem. It's not that, all right. That's not. You know what? It's not that I don't like Simon. I don't think he's a bad person or anything. I just think like he's not interesting to me because he's his own problem, and because he is he's supposed to like they want us to feel sorry for him, but he's a jerk himself. He's very self-centered.
He's not real likable.
No. And I think that's what my problem has been from the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it's hard when you can't and I get it. He's not likable. He's very self-absorbed. He's very arrogant. He thinks he knows better than, right? Like I get all those unlikable traits that he has. And it's really hard to, we've watched a lot of shows where I'm like, I can't watch a show. I don't like any of the people on it.
Yeah.
I have abandoned numerous shows because after 3 or 4 episodes, I just couldn't get behind the character. So good for you, AJ, for sticking with it. He's not, and he.
Maybe that's why I feel like he changed too. Maybe I feel like he changed more than he did because I want him to be more likable. Because I'm saying like I feel like he got it. I do feel like he got it, but I wonder if that's also me projecting on him, a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, he's not like nobody likes him. His mother loves him. He loves his mother. And then he makes one friend in the show. But really, like part of the show is the part where nobody likes him really that much. I guess his girlfriend liked him. She loved him, but she couldn't live with him.
Golden Child said he was born with superpowers that no one ever explained to him. How do you expect him how to act? To be fair, there's a lot of superheroes in the Marvel universe that nobody explained it to them and they weren't assholes. So. But no, I get what you're saying.
Well, and to Golden Child's point, like not only did nobody explain it to him, but he had to suppress it, right? He was like,
which is never a good thing in shows like this, right? In stories like this,
or any person that has to suppress an important part of themselves, right? Like it's I mean, we talked about it, I think it was last week that maybe I talked about this as sort of a coming out story. He's coming out with his power, or you can't come out with your superpowers because they'll send you to prison. I get that, Golden Child. How do we expect him to act? I think he has personality things that go beyond the issue that are not related. Look, I'm not a psychologist. I can't say they're not related, right? It's fair enough to say that a lifetime of suppressing the truth about yourself would make you not a well-adjusted person. That's a fair comment.
But there's also the idea when Trevor told him, that doesn't like that shouldn't define him. But you're right. You grow up like that, it might make you a lot different. That's not who he is, and he needs to.
Trevor's the first person who ever said to him, probably like, these powers don't define you.
Yeah, I think his family let them define him. I think that he was kind of coddled because of that by his mother. He got the opposite reaction from his brother. So, yeah.
Yeah.
B says he's quite wrapped up in himself. I honestly think he'd be more likable if he could get out of his head. I like his brother a whole lot less. I like his brother less too, but he was nice in this one. So I can't fault him in these episodes at least. But yes, I definitely disliked his brother a lot.
Well, this is a good point that B makes about him being wrapped up in himself. Like the part where Simon always thinks he knows better than the writer and that he wants to change a lot. Like he thinks he knows the character better and the history and this and that better. That's not about his powers. That's about his own, that's his own being wrapped up, his own arrogance, his own approach, right? That's not about having powers.
No, yeah. He is arrogant, that's for sure. And he thinks his opinion's more important than it is.
He thinks he knows more than everybody about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even just the script. I mean, we see how he is in that first episode with American Horror Story.
Yeah. And he's not the star. He's got like a few lines for like
a day player.
He's a day player. Yeah. Oh, B, you missed these 2 episodes. You joined us without having seen the end of the show.
Yeah, she had to leave to move furniture.
She was moving furniture.
There's nothing worse than moving. And I wish, B, that you had some superpowers to make it easier to move furniture.
Yes, unfortunately, we cannot help you with
Not
that.
Simon's powers, though, because those would just blow up the furniture. Then you wouldn't have to move it, though. So
yeah,
there's that point. Yeah. All right, so we get more flashbacks, and like I said, I think this is where he mentioned the sunglasses, because I do remember thinking, oh, that makes more sense now. So it must have been here rather than at the beginning of the other episode, where he said they were so, like, he wished his whole life, when he was his age, he wished he had sunglasses like that, or whatever he says.
No, this flashback is where the father says to him, "You're a really good actor, and I can't wait to see you on the stage someday." And he's like, "What are you talking about? I just did this high school play." And his father's like, "No, it wasn't just a good play. You are really good, and you're really talented." And with his father,
not in a way a parent says that their child's good. He's like, "You're good."
Well, yeah, and he says, I didn't think you were good just in the way parents think their kids are good at things. Like, you're really good," his father says. And probably the loss of his father, like, it might be the last time he heard something like that, right? He loses his father. His mother is not a bad person, but she's, she doesn't, look, obviously his mother was a very loving and very encouraging and very wonderful mother, right? But this, I think, is the moment that sets him on the track of becoming an actor, right?
That's what I was going to say. Do you think this is why he wanted to act? Like, he may have loved Wonder Man and wanted to be Wonder Man because it was the role, but this is probably why he started acting too, because his father said
probably.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And then we get Cleary for a bit, who's pissed off, which we expected. And then they're talking about the explosion. They say, we're going to go pick him up or whatever. And we're supposed to assume they're talking about Simon. Oh, no, wait. First they go.
And they are talking about Simon in that moment.
They are talking about Simon.
Oh, okay. That's right. It hasn't happened yet. I was thinking that he was like, whenever they say, maybe it's said a little bit later, because I feel like whenever they say, let's go pick him up, you're supposed to think it's Simon until.
What you're thinking about, at that point, they're still talking about Simon. But
I said
is later.
The line I'm thinking of might have been later.
What you're thinking about is
confess.
Okay, hold on. What you're thinking about later is when they say he's still in his apartment. Then they're talking about Slattery, but we're supposed to think they're still talking about Simon because they haven't shown the clip yet.
Yeah, you knew what I meant. That was what I just meant. The one line he says later. But hey, Travis, welcome. Let's see where to go. So Simon this was also really sad. Simon calls his mother and he's basically telling her goodbye without saying goodbye. He's afraid he's never going to get to talk to her again and he's never going to see her again. And he doesn't want her to be upset, doesn't want her to worry. So he completely doesn't tell her anything. Although I'm kind of surprised she didn't watch it on the news, but I guess if you weren't in LA, maybe you wouldn't even know or see it on the news. I don't know. But she knows something's wrong, but she doesn't know what's wrong. But he's afraid
she lives in the greater LA area. If she had the news on, she would have seen
and it's a national.
She live in a different state. Where's Pacoima? I don't know where that's at. Is that in
California?
They drove back in the same day. They drove to that party right back home the same day.
You're right.
They just drove out to the suburbs.
I also think that's probably national news, not local news anyway.
I don't know. The LA news is constantly with like helicopter chases or whatever. Pacoima is a neighborhood in LA County. It is home to Richie Valens Park. It's in the northeast San Fernando Valley. So it's part of the. It's the LA metro area.
Yeah, so but hey, maybe she wasn't watching the news, I guess.
Well, she wasn't. We saw her on the phone. She didn't have the news on.
Yes, I know. All right, so then
it was very sad. I agree with you. It felt like he was kind of saying goodbye because he
Mhm.
could probably expect to be arrested and thrown in damage control prison for the rest of his life, right?
Yeah, and never see her again. This is where I think they said the line that,
Yeah,
like I said, that AJ's about, that
that
they
he's
were
still in
really
his apartment.
talking. Yeah, that they were talking about going to see him to see Trevor. Yeah, Trevor calls Simon. Did you think he was going to answer it? I really didn't think he was going to
I
answer
was
it.
surprised he did.
Yep, I agree with you guys. I thought he would not answer the phone.
Yeah. I didn't think he would. So I was happy when he did. I'm like, at least he gets done by, because I mean, we all knew what was coming, right? I think
Yeah.
that it's not a surprise what he did. But yeah, this is where he says, what I did to you was awful, and I've been awful all my life or whatever, but I'm going to fix it. And he's kind of like, what did you do? He finally says at the end, I think he starts to question. Yeah, he knows he did something. I don't want to say stupid because he did it to save Simon, but I mean, he did something that maybe
What's
he
really
can't come
funny?
back from.
Without even realizing it, the Mandarin is his greatest performance ever.
It is. You're not
Yeah.
wrong. You're not wrong. But he's like, you'll know in a couple minutes what I did. I wanted to, before we go, I was going to say, let's go to B's comment before we go through to the end. I was just thinking about this. When a person goes through childhood feeling unlikable, they often grow up and fulfill that expectation. That is true.
Yeah.
True enough.
Yeah, that could be part of what made Simon who he is today.
Yeah, I mean, I think having friends probably makes a difference to the way you act too. Being not liked and everything else. But yeah, he's like, what did you do? He tells him goodbye, and then we see on the news the break-in to the news. Well, I guess it didn't break in, they were showing it, but from the Mandarin, he's playing his role. Oh, I wrote down what he said. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'd have to look at it. Wait, I got it here.
He talks about the Hollywood entertainment complex, like pulling the wool over your eyes and indoctrinating people, and the main right, and how the latest like Hollywood attempt to control you is Wonder Man, and so I set off a bomb there or whatever. Right? It's funny because I had a conversation with a friend of mine in the real world that was a lot like this, and now I'm scared.
Wait, which conversation? You set off a bomb. I think I missed something there, Karen. Back up a second.
Well, AJ, go ahead. Go ahead, AJ.
But the really important thing about it is he says that he has always been the Mandarin, that Trevor Slattery is the role.
Yeah. Which is kind of sad, right? It goes back to what I was saying earlier, like the kind of the bad guy he was is who he is, and like he's been playing the Trevor the thespian in Hollywood is the role he's been playing lately.
Yeah. Well, I think he needed everybody to believe it. It couldn't just be something he did. Like he had to make people believe he set off the bomb.
Now, I had a friend today who was telling me about that Savannah Grace's mother is missing still. Savannah Guthrie's mother is still missing. And there were some reports that a certain kind of from that Hollywood is trying to say that a certain kind of person would have kidnapped her, that this whole thing is more about political than about the family tragedy that's happening. And it just made me think about it right now, what the Mandarin said about Hollywood is trying to make you think certain things. I don't think, I'm not saying I think any of this. I just felt like what the Mandarin is saying here about Hollywood is trying to control you and say certain things. A lot of people believe that stuff.
Yeah. Well, life imitates art, imitates life, right?
Yep. It's a huge moment of self-sacrifice, right? This is the moment of redemption for Trevor in the show.
Yeah, he even says, where to go? I had this here. He says, I've bought and gold every opportunity that I've ever had. I'm not going to let you lose the one you have. That he's his true friend. And he's like, promise me you'll live life to your fullest. That was really sad watching that too.
Mhm.
I think a lot of these episodes were sad. Let's be clear.
He says
I
like,
was tearing up for a lot of these episodes.
what does he say? Something like, I've blown every chance I've ever had in my life, and I'm not going to let you blow the only chance
The
you
one
get.
chance you'll get or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring up Travis.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here got the impression Simon's mother doesn't really watch TV. She asked about American Horror Story, like she doesn't really know what it is. I had forgotten about that. So yeah, maybe she doesn't watch the news either.
That's correct. She refers to American Horror Story as a movie more than once.
She had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see. He also says the public now sees him as the Mandarin, and being with Simon, I imagine this will get back to Sam Wilson. The superhero team is registering with the government, but now there's individuals. Interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
This is where I want to like go back and rewatch all these things because I don't even remember a lot of the stuff about the Mandarin, I'll be honest. I need to go back and rewatch some of that, but that's interesting to think about that. I think, look, I said before, I think it'd be cool maybe if they pop up in other places. Will they? Probably not. But I mean, it's Ben Kingsley. He's great, right? So we wouldn't be sad if he did at any rate.
Yeah.
And propaganda investigate world wars.
Like Leni Riefenstahl, the filmmaker of the Third Reich, right? Like one of the most controversial like filmmakers in the history of the medium, probably. Like made movies to advance Hitler's agenda.
Yeah. So everybody is watching.
I love this shot. I love the shot of everybody sitting around the monitor watching.
And they're all like, oh man.
They're like in Video Village or wherever. They're in like a
and I'm wondering how many of them are like more upset by the fact it's screwing up their movie.
I'm sure they all are. I'm sure they are all 100% like right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have a right to be upset. At least nobody was hurt. Look, a bomb went off, but nobody got hurt. That's the important thing. But yeah, they're probably like, oh man, our movie's ruined. Let's see. Doomsday will have to give the audience a rundown of the different superhero teams operating at the same time. And I could see Shang-Chi sent to confront the Mandarin meeting Simon. That would be cool.
Oh, because it was the terrorist organization that had kept him prisoner for like 8 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wu is the one that broke him out.
Yeah. Well, I guess we don't know. Maybe we have not seen the end of the Mandarin. All right. So they know what's going on now. There it is about the explosion, him doing his performance, and them coming to get him. And here Cleary is like, well, this wasn't who we're after, but we got somebody.
I love when he says, what took you imbeciles so long to get here?
Yeah. He's really pulling it up, isn't he? But Cleary says something like, it wasn't what we wanted, but like it'll do is basically what he said.
It wasn't like, the arrest. It wasn't the arrest we wanted, but
he's like, basically says that they can still put him in this high security prison, which I'm not sure why they would need to. I didn't quite get why that's important, but
because that prison is really for superpowered individuals, right? And Trevor has no powers.
Yeah. They're just really trying to fill the prison. So
actually, we don't know that. We don't know that. Like, we know he's sent to like a black site, never be seen again.
I think they did say that in the episode.
No, we don't see where he goes, and we don't see any other inmates of that prison. Could he have been in a human, normal part of a prison? Yes.
Yeah, but weren't they saying that? I thought he was saying in this scene when he talks to the guy on the phone, like that they were sending him where they would have sent. That was how I took that.
We see the prison.
Yeah. We just don't see anybody in there,
we don't see anybody else in there. All right, so there he is coming out, and then this was awful. Whenever the PA or whatever comes to get him, and he's like, "The Kovac does not take a day off. You're coming to set." It's like, geez, his best friend was just arrested for being a terrorist.
Do you know how much money is lost every single day that a film set is shut down? Like,
you're not wrong.
Millions of dollars are lost every day that a set is shut down. And I mean, he doesn't say, no, I can't come to work today. I'm too distraught.
No,
he goes.
I have to wonder though. One of the principal, I'm assuming, because I know you're going to say they didn't say that, but one of the main sets of the movie was destroyed. I kind of wonder, like, it didn't throw off their plans a little bit, that they have no building for that set, but apparently not enough.
Other sets, right?
Yeah, they're like, we'll film that one later.
Yeah, they've got hundreds.
Short. We got enough of that one.
They've got surely hundreds of pages of dialogue that they can move on to other parts of the script. I mean, I think that happens a lot. Like a lot of films, you're going to shoot outside and it rains. Okay, let's shift and we'll shoot something else today instead, right?
Yeah. Oh, that is very true. The Thunderbolts have Sentry, who almost killed a whole city, but is just part of a superhero team with new consequences. Add Simon, a terrorist, and a Hulk president. People are going to be afraid. They get away with a lot in these movies. Well, this is a TV show, but they get away with a lot in Marvel.
Hulk president. Oh, that was
a
bad movie.
Yeah, that wasn't the best, but it wasn't as bad as Eternals. Sorry, but it wasn't.
No.
And it was Harrison Ford. Look. It wasn't great, but it was Harrison Ford at least. All right. So they're going back to set. This is when he's telling him to use his pain, is essentially what he says. You know, I want the. And what was the thing about your mother cooked? You had a dream your mother cooked you a hedgehog.
Yeah.
That was like the most random thing. He's like, I want to see how it makes you feel, or whatever he said. That was funny. But yeah, he wants him to use his pain. I don't know. All I kept thinking is the way they have that reminded, it looked like a robe or something to me. I feel like
what? You were speaking very quickly there. I didn't hear you.
All right. I just said the way they showed that with the hood like that, although there I see it's black. I don't know. On my TV, it looked kind of green. It was making me think of Slytherin robes the way they did it. But it was, to cover his costume. Nothing was worse than She-Hulk.
I liked She-Hulk. She-Hulk was
I did too. I did not like Eternals, but
I thought She-Hulk was inconsistent, but overall I liked it. But all three of us love Tatiana Maslany, right? So there was that.
That's true. We're biased a little bit. Let's see. Simon tries to get away from his home to rehearse because he destroyed it, only to return there. He destroys his mom's home, goes to audition, then destroys the set, only to film in a house.
Yeah.
He's destroyed a lot of things. Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. But either way, the show must go on, as they say, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't destroy his mom's whole home. Just the island. Just the nice new island that she was so in love with because Eric got it for her.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even as a child, he destroyed the kitchen, not the whole house.
But yeah, Travis elaborated a little. There's that running theme of Simon feeling like he needs to leave home and be on a set to be an actor to make a movie, but he always finds what he needs when he returns home. Wow. I mean, yeah. Whether he goes to his mother's home or back to his own apartment, like that whole bit of them having to shoot the self-tape and they end up going back to his house and Yeah. And he's at home when Trevor calls and is like, I'm going to take care of it. Don't worry about it. Right.
Yeah. Makes you wonder kind of how much, like right now, and again, we're probably not going to see more, but if we were to see more, like if he would necessarily even continue on this path of being an actor, because it seems like, I don't know, he could do a lot of different things. I guess it just depends.
I mean, and if we're going to push Travis's idea a little bit further, the idea of coming home, is it ultimately about like this whole season about Simon having to learn to live with himself?
Yeah. Well, I think kind of is for Trevor too, though. Like Trevor had to become, I guess, the real version of him too. Like he's changed a lot. That's why I said I think they've really rubbed off on each other and changed each other a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
In the course of the show. All right, so this guy is like, I talked to somebody, I got the glasses. Simon at first is like, how close are these to the original or whatever? But they are the original glasses he got him. So
which is kind of amazing, and it made me feel a little bit better about Simon's like quest for the perfect glasses, which I thought was a little bit out of line.
Yeah. I also felt like
in this moment, it's like he gets those glasses and he can like be Wonder Man, right?
Yeah.
I thought
maybe
thought it
this
was-
guy liked him a little bit
Oh,
better, that he was nice and did that. But I mean, it's his job. He probably would have done it anyway. Sorry.
Yeah,
go
as
ahead.
soon as he pulled the glasses out, I knew he was going to say that they were the ones from the original
Oh.
movie.
Yeah, of course. Of course. But we finally get to see his costume for about 10 seconds. I wish they would have I kind of wish they would have showed it earlier. Like, I get it. We didn't need to see it. It's like kind of waiting for that, and we see it, and it's like, about 5
Well,
seconds.
they did the same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
The first time you see
till
Sam's
the
new
very
costume is like literally in the last 2 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
They always do shit like this.
Yeah. So there he is in his costume. He is acting against the ball, and I guess the idea is they didn't have somebody to play Barnaby, so they had to add in Joe Pants later.
That
do
was
digital
funny.
effects. So yeah, that was kind of funny because usually they don't do that for people, but sometimes they do. They have a reason.
Well, we don't know, but see, I think Joey Pants filmed the whole movie. Like, they hadn't filmed anything yet when Trevor
When
was
all this
arrested.
happened. They were very early in the production when
I guess
all
that's
this
true.
happened,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And-
because why would he just now be seeing his costume? I guess if they had filmed a bunch.
Well, I feel like this is literally almost the next day or very soon after this happened, and they just haven't filled the role yet. So they're shooting like Simon scenes, and he needs something to look at for the shot, right? But they will.
The reason why I thought that and I wondered is because they show later when they show Joe Pantaleone standing there, like it just shows the I guess you want to say the back of Simon. Like it doesn't show them both in the scene. It shows an over the shoulder shot. I don't know, because I was thinking, like, why would he be acting to a ball? Like, generally, when there's two people in a scene, you act to the person. They usually do that. It's usually if there's an effect.
Amy, because they didn't have a new actor yet.
That's
But
what I mean.
They didn't want to lose. They didn't want to lose the time that they had to shoot this scene.
They could shut down production while they find a new actor.
That's what I said. They had to find a replacement. But you said he filmed the whole movie. He wasn't there yet. That was what I was getting at. Like, it was because they didn't have him yet.
Yeah, I think what AJ's saying is, I think AJ, let me put a word in your mouth for a second. You're saying that Joey Pants does shoot all of Barnaby's scenes once they hire him, and they just haven't at the time this shot is happening.
Right.
Which is what I was saying. He was shooting it because they needed to replace him, was what I was getting at. But that was kind of what you were saying. I just said it back the opposite of what you said.
Anyway, and also, like, I mean, this is a great way for the directors of Wonder Man. It's a great way to do this because you allow Yahya Abdul-Mateen and for Simon to inhabit the entire scene and not have Ben Kingsley there with him also, right?
Yeah. All right. So
there he is. There's Joey Pants as Barnaby.
Yes.
That was great.
His wig and everything. That's great.
That was so funny. And I love later when Trevor asks him who they got to play Barnaby. He's like, it's not important.
Like, did you really think it was going to be anybody other than him? I think we had figured that out, which was great.
And he says, who was it? De Niro?
Yeah.
And then he suggests he says Pierce Brosnan, De Niro. People confuse. Is it De Niro that he says people confuse us all the time? I don't think it's De Niro. It's somebody. He says, "Oh, people confuse us all the time."
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're still at the premiere.
Yeah. Let's see.
This was
yeah. So here they are walking down. Sorry, go ahead.
Go back to. Can you go back one?
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of almost the shot we just saw with the tennis ball, right?
It is. That's what I was getting at. Like they did the over-the-shoulder shot and then put him in digitally. Was supposed to be,
or shot it over the shoulder of a stand-in.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what they were showing. I don't know if you can tell here by the background.
It doesn't matter.
It looks like the same background. That's what I was saying when I was saying that. That was what I was getting at. Was that
anyway?
That was the shot. All right. So there's this scene where the director is like, I don't do sequels. We could never outdo this. But if we tried, what would we do? So they're definitely thinking about maybe having a sequel
It's so funny. It's the story of every single thing we've ever watched that we were told would be one and done, and then they're like, "Well, if we were going to do it,
if we could make more money, what would we do?"
That's part of the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey Pants, aka Sniper.
No, I didn't mean to.
Make me want to watch Matrix. I love Matrix.
I meant to do this. Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Let's see. Travis is in his home. He's hiding a breakup in a destroyed wall. His mom sees hiding the kitchen fire and breaking his mom's heart. At Kovac's home, he's hiding being broken himself to play the hero.
This is some deep level.
Yeah, I know. It's insightful. With both his house and his mom's, those are real places. But when he destroys a set, it puts it through a different lens. Kovac's vision doesn't. And because his set and one of the actors are gone, doesn't end because his set and one of his actors are gone. Yeah. As I said, the show must go on. The last scene was to show how cash rules everything. Yeah. This was definitely, I felt like, meant to be a meta moment. Like, this is what happens. This is what's happened with Marvel shows too. I mean, wasn't Loki only supposed to get one season?
Yeah.
No, Loki was. They never said anything. Like, Loki was always, maybe it might get another season, it might not. Okay. They were not really sure.
Oh, okay. Well, still, this happens all the time in Hollywood. We know this, and it was funny at any rate. And there's Joe Pants. He's like, oh, he's trying to get him to buy the real estate, right? That was hilarious.
That was kind of funny. He's like, I'm telling you, commercial real estate. Yeah.
Something you should invest in, man. And then she's trying to be his agent. She's like, hey, it's just talking. She's totally trying to steal him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Putting a blanket to pretend the wall isn't busted, putting an island up to hide a fire, and putting Joey Pants in to pretend his friend is there who should be. That's the one thing that is, I mean, there's a lot of it that was sad, but that was one of the things too. It's like, I kind of hate we didn't get to see them film like more scenes together. Like, we've seen them, practicing and stuff, but I would have liked to have seen them like at least film something. I don't think we saw them film anything with Barnaby, did we? Beforehand?
No. But
as a viewer, I'm just saying I would have.
I kind of have a follow-up to that, but I'll wait till you're going to click to the red carpet, right?
Yeah. Oh, there's when he talks to his brother, and his brother's basically like, I'm proud of you, which was nice. I liked seeing that. They kind of got along.
It was Antonio Banderas that he always gets mistaken.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Antonio Banderas, Ben Kingsley. I get them confused all the time.
Yeah, me too. Well, it's a Fox movie theater, so I guess there's that. That's still Disney, right?
Yeah, because Joey Pants was acting for the business aspect and not for the real acting part of it.
Which is the opposite of Trevor, right?
Yeah. So Jamie, I think that, I don't know if you have another shot here from the
premiere.
So this was such a, I agree with you. It would have been nice if this wrapped up a pretty bow with him and Trevor making the movie together and what it would have been like. But I think it was so important for Simon to do this on his own. Like, he was so dependent on Trevor throughout all these episodes. He never could have made the audition. He never could have gotten the move, right? He's so dependent on Trevor. And then
did himself.
Trevor's sacrifice makes Simon able to do it by himself.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just meant, like, as a viewer, I would have liked to have seen the actors get to, like, do a scene before he was cut from the film, was what I meant. Not necessarily ending like that.
Just we saw them deliver that.
They were rehearsing
multiple times.
We saw them rehearsing, but we didn't see an actual scene.
And these are the glasses, right? These are the glasses.
Yeah, they let him keep them, I guess, which doesn't actually happen that often. Especially they would have made probably at least a dozen replica pairs. That's a good point. Yeah, he was supposedly getting the ones that were the originals, but you're right. They would have had
no part of any Hollywood costume that's only one, right? There might be one original and 20 replicas.
Yeah, they have to do that in case something gets broken or destroyed, and because half the time they destroy it on purpose. So they have to have that. All right. I think this is where she says you can pick any project you want now. So let's see.
Let's hold off on this, okay?
Yeah, we'll get to Punisher and Travis. Let's get a little bit further here.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to that. Okay, so here is, I don't remember why I took a picture of the tree other than thinking that looked cool, and I don't remember what was going on. I just thought it looked cool. Okay, so this is where he's talking about to this guy. He's going to basically shadow
His name is Chuck Easterman.
Eastman. Yeah, I was trying to figure out why were they supposedly, I thought he was just looking for like a certain type of person, but then he said later something about they were actually making a movie, I guess, on this guy's life. Like, why would, I don't know, that was kind of
No. I mean, I remember that line, Jamie, where he says, "Why me?" But that was a little confusing. But I don't think it's about this guy's life.
He never says what's the movie. He never says what the movie's about.
The reason why I said that, and maybe it's just they were talking about it like it could be, whenever they're doing their jogging, he says something like, you can't get in shape because, like, he's saying he isn't. There was that conversation.
Yeah, he says, like,
You
don't
can't
get in
blame
shape
me.
because I'm not in shape, and that won't.
Yeah, that was why I assumed that maybe he told him they were making that's why I thought like it was going to be that this, I told you, I thought that it was going to be that this guy, I mean, we knew he worked at the prison, right? But I figured it was going to be like this guy didn't like the way they were treating these people at the prison or something, and he like maybe enlisted his help or something. That's where I thought it was going.
There's no way they're making a movie about this guy's life and he hasn't sold the rights and made some money and being a part of it.
Yeah,
he like Simon's trying to learn, like, playing a part that it's research, right? It's research.
Yeah, it is. But you're right. Yeah, they would have approached him. But I maybe he was just kind of saying he's looking for an everyman guy, and then they were just like kind of, spitfire.
Or maybe I'm going to play a prison guard, or we don't really know.
Yeah, something. But he's like, I want to shadow you, but you can't tell anybody, Barbara's all that. This family was funny though, when they're totally acting all weird, and she's like, I make this all, this is what I would make even if you weren't here, and they're like, yeah, you haven't made it since grandma was here, or something like that. That was funny
because now he's a huge star, right? It's like if you weren't aware of Chris Evans and then he goes and makes Captain America and then he comes to your house for dinner.
Yeah, you would be acting weird, but at least he's like, I know it's weird, of course it's weird. But yeah, this is where I was saying, like, I felt like he's learning to act more natural and more nice, was just what I was getting at earlier. Like, I felt like
he's playing a role. He's using them. And
he's using them.
It's a lie, and he's playing a role here. He's playing a role of an actor who wants to learn from them and do research. Right. Simon is at his most natural when he's playing a role.
All right. It could be that case. I don't know.
We can disagree on this.
No, I see what you're saying. I just hadn't really thought about it that way. I just thought like he seemed to like these people and was being nice to them. Yeah. Whether he was using them or not yes, he's using him.
I don't think he thought the pot roast. He looked at the pot roast like it was a worm, and then he's like, "This is really good."
He did kind of, didn't he?
Yeah.
All right. So they're having dinner.
Well, I kind of like their chandelier. It's not a chandelier, but I kind of like their lighting element there.
Yeah. All right. So this is where he's talking about his health. He's writing everything down.
So this is an interesting unknown kind of, he's got bad health, right? Is that from working in the prison with superpowered individuals, or does he just by coincidence have a health condition? We don't know, right?
I don't know, but he kept saying like how stressed out he was because of his job. That's why I was saying I thought that he like felt bad for the people in the prison. That was where I thought it was going.
I think so, yeah.
And that's why I guess I thought like they were getting along. Like I took it more like he liked him. Whether he was, like I said, I know he was using him, but I also didn't think it was going the way, like I thought it was going a bit different. So,
I mean, AJ, were you also getting the feeling Jamie and I did, like this prison was pretty brutal and horrible, and like maybe he was like he hates his job? Jamie and I both feel like because of the way they treat the people, right?
I wasn't making any assumptions at all.
Okay. All right,
and that's why I thought he was being nice to him too, because I was at this point thinking that it wasn't as much him using him and tricking him, because I really didn't. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't think that's where it was going. I thought
No,
that this
I
guy
didn't.
didn't know what was happening.
And Jamie, I absolutely didn't think that at this point. It's only later that I'm like, oh, he was using them to, like, at this point, I
Yeah.
thought he's
Right.
legitimately
in on it.
trying to do research on a film for some reason.
Yeah. Well, no,
I
I mean, I thought he was, I guess in my mind, I thought that this guy didn't like the way they were doing it at the prison. And I thought the guy was in on what he was going to do. But like I said, I had already taken screen captures. So I was, I
Yeah.
think, basing what I thought was going on based on knowing what was coming, kind of, but without hearing the dialogue.
AJ, did you catch on right away? Like, it took me a little bit to understand that Simon.
I couldn't figure out. I didn't know what the point of this guy was, like who he was or what this was about until it got going further.
Yeah.
Travis says when Chuck is fixing the truck and is confiding in Simon, you see Simon feels bad and is invested in his struggles. I got the sense when they were running, Simon was really pushing him to be healthy. Yeah. Simon, he can be using this guy and also like this guy, right? They can both go through. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They seem to be, I mean, he didn't know him that well, but it seemed like they were becoming friends was kind of.
Yeah. And it seems like real research. It seems like Simon is really trying to get to know, I mean, what it means to be a middle-aged white rancher prison guard, right? Or what it means to live in this community and do this job. Like, it did feel like he was doing research.
It felt genuine.
And that he likes this guy. Yeah, it felt genuine. It felt genuine. It didn't feel like he was mercenary. All right.
So this is where he sneaks him in the prison. See, this is where I thought, right, when they started this, like, I thought he knew what was coming. But like I said, I was also basing it on having seen pictures of what happened. So I assumed this.
So you took screen caps before you watched the episode?
Yes, I did, because I wanted to make sure I got them done in time. And that was my issue. That's why I said I wish I'd had time to watch it before that, because I think it clouded my what I was thinking was going on.
AJ, I caught on to this. It's the scene before this where Chuck says, Simon, you know how you've been asking me if you can come to work with me? You've really been asking me, and I keep saying no, and I think I finally found a way for you to come to work with me. Right? Isn't that sort of how that discussion goes?
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, he's a guard at the prison. That's when it came to me. I'm like, he's a guard at the prison where Trevor is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard for me to say when, because like I said, I knew it, so I'm looking at it different.
I know AJ is usually
screwed it up.
AJ usually catches on pretty quickly to this stuff.
No, I was completely dumbfounded. I'm like, what is this? You know,
Yeah,
it wasn't until I got to the prison. It wasn't until I got to the prison that I was like, or actually, it wasn't until they showed the prison that I was like, oh, now I get it.
Now it makes total sense.
Yeah. And look who's there, Cleary and.
They said something about the prison, I think, but it wasn't really important. I don't think.
Yeah, but what was important is that Simon walks by and Cleary sees him and is distracted for a moment. Like he doesn't.
Yeah, I thought he was going to see him too. I kind of wondered about that.
It was a double take. It was like, was that?
Yes. And where his boss is like, "Are you listening to me?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry." Like it was, yes, double take. AJ is the best way to describe it, I think.
Yeah, I didn't quite get it. So yeah, he is pretending to be somebody. And then he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like
Alfonso.
The dumbest excuse that they use in TV and movies, right? Where's the bathroom at? And the guy, who's a security guard at a prison is like, sure, go off by yourself and go to the bathroom. Like, really?
Well, he has total trust in
I know, but you don't work at a prison and let people walk around. Going
to the bathroom is a very normal thing, though, that anybody might ask during their work day.
It is. No, I just think it's funny because they always do that. Even like detectives, when they're like, they don't tell them they're a detective, and like
there's like Jamie, we're here to search. Can we ask you some questions about your dead husband? And then Adrian would be like, "Can I use your bathroom, Jamie?" And then they go and
how it always is.
Illegally search your house. Yeah,
exactly. This is where we start to see more of his powers and that he clearly has control over them. Oh, I know. He said something. There was something important there. That was where he said about the ionic powers. He said that they took tests of where the bomb went off and that something about the ionic something was there. So you kind of or at least I kind of wondered, like, I thought, okay, so they know it was probably Simon, but they can't prove it, was kind of where I was going with that.
Yes.
I remembered way back in like episode maybe 2 where we're like, what is his power? And AJ's like, you guys, it's ionic power.
Yes.
He basically can move atoms and ions, I guess. And you're right, Jamie, there's like a signature in every single piece of rubble, right? And so they know that someone with ionic powers did it, and they think that Simon has ionic powers.
Yeah. All right.
Golden Child also definitely didn't get it until he saw Trevor. I thought they were just going to cook up a breakout plan.
Yeah. Yep. But either way,
that's a response to Travis. It's interesting because Simon is doing to Chuck exactly what Trevor was doing to him, only he's making sure that Chuck's okay at the end of it. He is.
See that? Yeah, he is. But I do think he also felt bad for the guy. Like, I don't think it was just to pay him because he's going to lose his job.
That's why he gives him the money, because he's going to lose his job.
Yeah, but
also he hates the job, and he is freeing Chuck from a terrible job.
True.
By giving him money.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, this is where he shows up to break Trevor out, and he's like, "Why are you doing this? I just fixed it for you, and now you're going to screw yourself." And of course, he's like, "Well, I got it. I can't let you take the blame." Basically, it says in not so many words. There you can see his power, and he's like, "We can't go." He says something like, "There's cameras everywhere. We can't walk out the back," or I don't know, something like that. And he's like,
"We're not going that way.
We're going out." Yeah. So.
And then they bust out the ceiling.
Yeah. Now, AJ, I have to ask, because this is what I asked Karen, and you know more than I do, obviously. Is he flying, or is it more like he uses not electricity, but the ions, like, to push him up? Like, I think of like how Quake, like, she can jump really high, or how Jessica Jones type of thing. Is it kind of like that, or is he actually flying?
I would compare it more to Quake.
Okay.
Quake, that would be the best way.
He can kind of fly, but not really. That's kind of what I wondered. But he went pretty high, so I wasn't sure.
Quake. So
Quake Shield.
Yeah, I don't watch Shield.
No, I know. She can. She moves. She kind of moves molecules. She vibrates things. So she's able to, like, push off the ground, and she can jump like super, super, super high.
Yeah. Unlike Superman, who is like less susceptible to gravity or capable of defying gravity and can just like fly. This is more a person who's manipulating. Like, I think we saw, if you click back to your previous shot, Jamie.
I mean, I guess
you see the atoms swirling around them, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess technically it's flying because he's manipulating the ions around him.
That's like sort of static, right? Or like it's like.
So it's a little
ions are charged particles.
Yeah, it's kind of like the electricity in the air, sort of, is the way I'm. I'm not describing it right, but I'm trying to think of a way to describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, he's got away. They can see him flying away. They know it's him. So.
You mean he's already gone by the time they look up?
Oh, is he? Okay.
Shit.
Okay, yeah. I guess he went.
They're long gone by the time these guys.
Okay, I was thinking they were looking at him. All right, he's gone. But look, they know it was him. I mean,
they don't know shit. No, they don't know it was him.
Have proof. Who else is going to take Trevor out of prison? Come on. I mean, I think they figured it out.
Okay, Jamie,
that's circumstantial evidence, Jamie.
Yeah, no, they have absolutely no proof. I'm just saying, I think they figured it out. Unless they're really dumb.
But who broke him out of prison the first time?
It could be the 10 rings. It could be.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. All right, let's go to some of these things from the chat we skipped. Punisher says, I have a theory about Wonder Man damage control will become Orcus. Or is that how you say that? Orcus?
Yeah.
That's a question for AJ, I guess. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, Marvel could do whatever the heck they want. They reinvent stuff all the time, but I don't see that happening, honestly.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Don't know
Well,
that.
Because they're both two separate entities in the comic universe, so there's no reason to make one into the other.
okay.
Let's see. Travis is going off Matrix nods. Joey was in the original. I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah.
Being Morpheus in the Matrix. He's going to be Morpheus. There's a Matrix reboot. What?
No, it's revival.
No, revival.
Part 4 wasn't really.
The new one. Okay.
Nobody wanted. Yeah.
Well, it's not part 4. It's it would be part 5 because we already had a part 4.
Was it a part?
Okay.
Was it
Morpheus. Never mind. I was thinking.
Morpheus.
My brain was thinking Neo. Yeah, I know what you mean now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't. That didn't make sense in my head until now. Now I know what you're saying. That movie was now Simon is starring in a reboot of a classic he doesn't want to ruin. True.
Yeah. It's a little meta. That's a little meta, right?
Yeah, Morpheus said time to fly. Then Simon takes flight like Neo did. That is a good point. Look, the original Matrix movie was awesome. I love that movie. It's one of the best movies. It's like one of my favorite movies.
You named your
Unfortunately,
dog after it.
did not live up to it. What?
You named both your dogs after it, right?
Huh? No, Trinity,
not Kiki.
Trinity was named from that because I like the name. But no, Kiki was not. Is there a Kiki?
No. I was just wrong.
No, I was going to say I don't think there was a Kiki in Matrix. No, but yes, Trinity was named. Actually, we've already decided. I'm just going to say this because AJ will think you'll think I'm really crazy. AJ might laugh. But we've already decided that when we get our next dog, because we got to wait till my cousin has his wedding. But we're naming it Daisy May. We've already made this decision, me and my mom. So because it works for both of us. So that's the dog's name. Just saying.
That's funny.
I know. Well, I thought it was too. I thought it was cute. But I'm like, hey, we both love it because she loves it. She's crazy about it too. It's funny. That's why I love we found something we both like. Part of it also is the idea that Chuck is keeping up an act for his children and wife, that work is going well when it isn't. Simon sees that because it's the exact same act he puts on for his family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does. He's always like, oh, mommy, yeah.
You know what I'm wondering? Travis, do you watch From? Because I'm just thinking he's really digging deep into this stuff. And it makes me think of how we go so deep into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Geez, why is my nose so itchy?
So how do we all like this ending? This ending felt a little bit like, so, AJ in the watch party, Kimberly commented that if the show had ended at the red carpet when the movie premiered, we could have been totally okay with that ending. That would have been a satisfying ending. Not that everything that came after isn't also great and that she didn't love it. But that could have been a great ending, right? Perfectly okay ending. All of this that followed after felt almost a little bit like I watched all through to see if there would be an end credit scene.
So
I scanned through before I cut it off earlier. I did after I cut it off, I did look and make sure I didn't miss.
I didn't really want one, but I thought that would be an indicator. Are they planning for a season 2 or whatever? Right? We didn't get one, but this felt a little bit like extended end credits. But I liked it. I like the ending. I like an ending that feels like it feels like the story is over, but I can really think about like what might happen to Trevor and Simon going forward.
Yeah.
Just a lot of
if we ended on the red carpet, I would have been like, what happens to Trevor? That's not fair. So I like this ending better than if they ended it there.
AJ?
But I'm always like that. So
well, if it ended on the red carpet, you already know Trevor is in prison.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. I wouldn't want him to stay. I guess I should have said I wouldn't have liked it because he would have been staying in prison.
He deserves prison.
He's learning. He's being better at least.
It's true that he didn't serve out his sentence.
The funny thing about Trevor is he never actually did anything. He was just the guy in front of the camera.
He was the
he knew. He aided and abetted.
I guess.
I question though, and maybe this is just I'm not remembering it too, might be the case. But did he really know, or was he kind of like drugged out and didn't know that what they were doing exactly?
I happened to watch that scene today. I was like, looked at I had my TV on a lot during the day, and Iron Man came on after the Olympics, and I saw the scene where Robert Downey Jr. comes in and confronts Trevor about being the Mandarin. Remember the scene where he falls asleep in the middle of talking to Iron Man?
You know what's funny? at the end of Wonder Man when it got done, you know how like they like to throw you into something else immediately after? It tried to throw me into Iron Man 3.
Yeah. um, and so in that scene, he kind of denies having done anything wrong, and yet he does admit that he knows that what's his name has been covering up all these. He totally admits that they're covering up the accidental explosions with this story of the Mandarin. Like he definitely knows. Trevor just feels like because nobody was actually blown up in a terrorist plot that he's innocent, but he's well aware of the cover up.
Yeah.
No, wait, Trevor, how could Trevor, okay, you lost me there. Say that again. How could Trevor not know about the cover up? He did the cover up. I think I misunderstood what you meant.
No, he at some point, did he think he was playing a role and wasn't in? He absolutely knew that he was making these videos to cover up for these explosions. He was covering
in Iron Man.
He knew in Iron Man. He knew that he knew that the Mandarin was a cover for illegal activity.
Okay, see that's where I was saying I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it. That's why I wondered.
Yeah.
But okay. Let's see. Travis says there's a bit where Cleary shows him Mandarin footage where he shoots the guy and Trevor flinches, and for a moment I thought the implication was he actually shot the person. I don't think they would have let him. Well, maybe they still would have let him.
It was all everything Trevor did was staged.
Yeah. I think Trevor says it was blanks or whatever after that, right?
I definitely don't remember this part when Tony locks the hookers in the bathroom after Trevor takes a dump. Amazing. I don't remember that. So it's clearly been a while since I've seen it. I would think I'd remember that, but I do not. Okay, now this is about the Zemo thing. AJ, I don't even understand what that's about.
I don't even know who Zemo is.
Yeah, given this motivation in the political pool in this country, I could see Zemo somehow negotiating his way into damage control or even a higher title as people are starting to see what he's afraid of. Now, this has to do with X-Men, I thought, from what you said last time.
No. Zemo, you guys both know who Zemo is. Well, maybe not Jamie, but Aaron, you know who he is. He was in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, right. That's Zemo.
I still have not seen that.
Yeah.
That needs to be my next thing I watch. I still haven't seen it.
I mean, I could see it in that damage control is a clear opportunity for infiltration and fraud and malfeasance, right? Damage control is ripe for corruption. I mean, I guess we'll see as they move into.
I'm not worried. Yeah, I mean, we got enough to wait for already.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad that AJ. I don't want to say you came around. You never hated this show. You just weren't that into it in episodes 1, 2, 3.
The first 3 episodes were so fucking boring.
Yeah, and I kind of liked them. They kind of grabbed me, but I just liked this sort of smaller story.
Maybe because I saw through Simon quicker than you guys did.
Yeah,
maybe. But you also haven't. Well,
I really didn't like how they're like, trying to make it look like, poor Simon, he has no friends. He's been in Hollywood for 8 years and he doesn't have any friends. Trevor's his first friend. He had a fucking girlfriend.
You said that.
Clearly, he had some kind of fucking skills.
Most people forgot that, but yeah, he did.
That's the thing. Like they used the girlfriend to make you feel bad for him because the girlfriend broke up. Oh, look at poor Simon. No friends. Girlfriend broke up with him. Well, clearly he had a friend. It was a girlfriend.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
it's almost like the writers didn't think that all the way through, which is what kind of annoyed me.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's funny because I think, Karen, you kind of like this more intimate story better, I would say, a lot of times than maybe the big Marvel stuff. Where AJ, I think you got bored with it, and I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I kind of like that stuff, but I didn't dislike it.
I mean, I like plenty of slow.
No, I mean in regards to Marvel, like
it has nothing to do with Marvel. It's just the story itself. Just like I just felt like it was it was just boring because Simon's not likable. At least for me.
He was even hiding his powers from his girlfriend. So, like, how close was he to that girlfriend? Right? Was that performative? What did she know?
I mean, they're together long enough to live together. So,
I mean, I like this smaller, tighter, character-driven story. I thought Echo had a lot of problems. Echo could have been way better. I loved so those are the only two that have come out under Marvel Spotlight. The other one, you know, I loved Hawkeye, right? What else have been these sort of like one-off kind of? I liked Hawkeye a lot. I don't love Daredevil very much. But really the only two under Marvel Spotlight are Echo and I didn't like Moon Knight was not. Werewolf. So there have been three. I liked Werewolf by Night a lot.
Yeah,
that was great. So there have been three under Marvel Spotlight. Two have been really good. One has been I don't know what's coming next under Marvel Spotlight. I don't know if they know what's coming next under Marvel Spotlight.
Yeah,
I do like
I should come next under Marvel Spotlight.
I do like the effort that they're making with Marvel Spotlight. I recognize that it's probably a response to the backlash of some of the bad things not bad, but the way they were going with some of their stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what's next.
Yeah. Well, regardless of that, we have Daredevil is the next Marvel thing, even if it's not Marvel Spotlight. It's the international turd that won't flush. You're not wrong. That's funny.
Yeah. So next up is the next season of Daredevil. I will watch it with you guys. I don't love it.
Which we will be covering on Fandom Access at the very least. I still kind of want to do something, but I know we got to figure out what we're doing and probably won't. I don't know. I mean, for now, so I guess we want to say thanks to everyone. Golden Child is on this with a girlfriend, man. Yeah.
He had a girlfriend by acting how he thought a boyfriend should act. Yes. I agree.
That's kind of true. Yeah. I hadn't thought about it that way.
His entire life is an act of right?
Yeah, very true.
He didn't act like a boyfriend good enough because he was self-centered.
Yeah. And she didn't do it first, so he didn't do a good job, even if he was acting like it.
Yeah.
But as I said earlier, everybody, please don't forget to join us again tomorrow at 11 Eastern for School Spirits. And we have the watch party at 9:30 in Discord, and the link is pinned to the chat. If you're not a member of our Discord, please join for our watch party schedule, everything else. Please make sure you check out scifivision.com as well as our video tab for all our interviews. I will be having Cross go up in a bit here. I was trying to rush and finish Cross before we started this, but my interview today ran very long.
Who's your interview?
For today, it was for Dark Winds, and we were waiting a while, so I did not get it done. But so I was planning to do it before now, but it was.
Well, I'm confused. You mean you're going to put up interviews for Cross, and who's that with?
Right. No, I just meant I was intending to have Cross up before we started our show tonight.
I'm asking you, what is it? What is the Cross interview?
It's with Isaiah Mustafa and Samantha Walks, and the other one is with, I'm bad at remembering people's names, is with Alona Tao and Johnny Ray Gill. So those will be coming up. And
Isaiah Mustafa plays Cross, right?
No, he plays Cross's partner.
Oh, he's the partner. Yeah,
he's the partner. And then what else do I have coming up? Let's see. Let me look here. Christiane's one for the confession went up. Honey Bunch is going to be going up. Unfortunately, I did not get Jason Isaacs. I tried, but I got the lead for that. And there's some other things I'm hoping I get, like Paradise and Monarch, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So, but stay tuned, guys. And yeah, like I said, join us tomorrow. And of course, as always, Tuesday at 10 Eastern is our show Fandom Access, where next week we still have more Dunkin' Egg, Seven Kingdoms, whatever you want to call it. And you guys are still doing Starfleet. So,
yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks, you.
Everybody. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, thanks for sticking with us.
Glad everybody had fun.
Good to see you all. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.